Recording in progress. Okay. So, welcome to this thing, whatever it will be. I'm super excited. Like we have a lot to go through. Some of you maybe saw that last minute I changed the structure of this call because I think this what we're gonna go through is gonna be more useful. It was an idea of me just sharing my videos of me dancing and kind of showing the examples how I use intention, how I use positioning to lead certain things. But then I was like, okay, let me just throw at you my whole idea how I see leading and following works. And then we will have another call, which is also gonna be free, but more on that later. So you stick around, Okay. So there's people from all over the place, and let's start by learning how to use the chat because we're gonna need it. So just write where you're from because there's a lot of people. I don't know. I put ads actually on this Facebook event, and I was like, okay, target Europe, interest Kizomba. So I'm interested, like who joined here and where are you from? I'm from Croatia, by the way. I'm gonna introduce myself a bit later, or at least now. Okay. Austria, Germany, Slovenia. We have a lot of Croatians, of course. Nice. Czech. Nice. Okay. So we're gonna use, I have this chat here, I see it. I see all of you guys who have the cameras. So I have it all set up here. I have notes here. There's like quite a lot we have to go through. So if you see me watching right, or I think it's your right, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so let's let's start. A little bit about me. I'm not gonna be super long because nobody probably cares. So I'm Josip. I'm from Croatia. I have a school here called Embodied Keys. Right now in my life, I have two main focuses. Recently, I quit my job to fully go into dancing, which is really my passion. First is to build like a super nice scene in Zagreb, strong, good level, good vibe, everything like that. Second, what word would I use? My focus in the future is going to go more and more into helping leaders advance fast through various exercises, ways of looking, and so on. Because I see this is kind of lacking in the scene, like concrete guidance for leaders, especially to go from a beginner to like an intermediate level. Like this is called the beginner's hell. It's awful. Like there's a lot that people don't know about. And even this call is, I'm going to share a lot, at least theory, which can help you in this process. Disclaimer, nothing that I say today is true. Those are just my opinions. Those are my conclusions that I came to them from various different teachers. And it's just, I kind of put it in this way so that it makes sense to me. I might explain these things differently next week, in a month, if I see like a better way to explain it. So it's fluid, it constantly keeps changing. Then, this is just one way of looking at things. There are many different lenses. If you've been around to various different teachers, you've probably seen that each of them point to the same thing, but they just explain it in different ways. So also like this, I'm going to explain it from my point of view. Keep in mind that other teachers may use different words, different phrasings, different concepts, but in all, we are all trying to get you to the same point of like really dancing in a nice way. Um, who am I to talk who am I to talk about this? Well, I would say I'm not the best, but I consider myself good enough. I've gotten compliments, I've invested a lot of money and time into researching, and so pretty much don't trust what I say, but test it. Like really go out, test it, and if it makes sense, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. you have plenty of teachers you can choose from in this world to learn from. Then, questions. If you have any questions, I love questions, write them in the chat below. I will immediately see it. If I don't see it like right away, I will see it, but I will answer it at some point. So with questions also, be sharp, be to the point. Don't like write a whole paragraph so that I have to read it for 1 minute. But really, if you have something, write it down. Yeah. We're gonna avoid microphones as much as possible so that it's not like ha 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 everybody talking at the same time. So yeah, but if you want to really say something with words, you can raise a hand. You have this option down there, which is actually, I'm not sure where in the Zoom. I think it's React and something like that. But if it's like really crucial, you can just unmute yourself. Like it's not gonna be a big deal. So next, what's the goal of this call? Each one of you came here for a reason, and I'm actually gonna be curious about that. But I will share how I see leading and following, and you do with that information whatever you want. I'm gonna share a lot of theory, a lot of approaches, a lot of ways of looking at this, with the hopes of kind of, I don't know, making it more clear. Like you're on a mountaintop and you kind of see where you're going. Because in the beginning, when I started learning, all of these things were like, how do I lead this? How does this work? I have to ask this person, that person. It's all pretty vague. Urban keys in general is pretty vague. This person explains it this way, this way, and everything's like blah 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 all over the place. Yeah. So yeah, take notes, please. I'm gonna say a lot of things, and you want to take notes if you're like a study person, and so you can also ask questions and so on. And also, why am I doing this? Why is this free? I'm pretty much tired of people not knowing these things. It's a shame that there's a lot of teachers who really hold knowledge to themselves, and I understand it. We need to make a living. And then it's like, okay, do I share this? Do I keep this to myself so that other people come to me for privates and so on? So these are all valid things. But in my opinion, like you can go through this whole webinar and still know shit, pretty much. You can listen to everything, but in the end, you need to put it into the practice. Theory in dance means shit if you don't actually understand it and embody it. So I'm gonna do my best to put words onto this to kind of, you have a container in your mind. How does this work? But then go to the social, talk to your friends, ask teachers questions, practice one-on-one, ask questions on class, and so on and so on. So that this actually lands, Cool. So now a little bit from you that I get. Why did you join this call? Tick, tick, tick. Yeah, that's also fine. Like, it's also like, I don't know, I just have free time. That's also a good idea. But if somebody has something specific, I mean, I did ask you to ask questions. Cool, interesting topic. I'm curious and just want to see. I'm sure what you're gonna say will be useful. I hope. Love the topic. Nice, cool. Okay, so that we get a little bit of interaction, so it's not just me hearing. You know how actually this is weird. I'm just talking to myself pretty much. Uh, okay, but seriously, I'm at the very beginning. Oh, okay, okay. We have some nice answers. I'm at the very beginning of my journey in exploring urban keys. Amazing. And this is pretty much all that I'm sharing is what I wished that I heard in the beginning. Pretty classic teacher story. I'm trying to go from only follower to also being a leader, and I'm stuck in beginner hell. Yeah, I wish more followers started leading so they understood like the hell we're going through. I'm not saying that your role is not hard, you know. I'm still trying to understand. I want to learn more about following intentions more consistently to gain more flow and connection in dancing. Wow, such cool reasons. Wait, I need to see. Tell me now if you still see me. Now, everything still okay? Cool. Okay, so I need to just check if I can change windows and nothing gets, you know. So, aha, let's go. Let's go what we will go through today, the whole curriculum. So, first, we have the woods analogy. The woods analogy, whatever you will hear. Then, we have most common problems that I see happening in the scene. And here I also will want to hear your feedback. So already now, prepare what you hate the most that's happening to you on the dance floor from the other side. So if you're a follower, when you go to a party, what it's like, if only leaders didn't do this, everything would be great. And leaders, then you're gonna go. If only followers, like, why are they, I hate this, I don't like this. We're gonna go a bit to the dark side. We have to do that, yeah. Then I'm gonna go through how does a scene, dance scene, get bad? How does the downward spiral work? Then we're gonna go into how to change it. So how do we make a change? How does a scene start growing? This is all important for us to understand how everything works. What mindset is good? This is a quick topic. Then we're gonna go into the river analogy, which I think you're really gonna like. And this river analogy, once you see it, once you visualize it, like leading and following is gonna be pretty simple. Then we're gonna go into more like detailed things. So what is the follower's job in a dance? List of things. What is the leader's job in a dance? List of things. And then we have questions and on what we're gonna create. Yeah, cool. Ah, shit, sorry, Matteo. Oh, so you hear this like very loud? Fuck, okay. Sorry, okay, I'm gonna be really gentle with this now. Okay. But I do have to read it because there's a lot. Oops, sorry. So, let's go. Let's start with understanding, and of course, this is this is my way of looking at things, how leading and following works. Okay, so first, I'm planning to go for hour and a half. I may make it longer, but I'm gonna try to not keep you here for more than 2 hours. If at any point you have to go, feel free to go, no pressure to stay. But I really want this to be like a complete thing that you have space to ask questions and so on. So the woods analogy. So this came to me, I don't know how, but it just did. So imagine this. I'm a leader and I go through the woods, I'm cutting trees, you know, there's a lot of things happening and I have to make a path. And there's people behind me, yeah? There's people behind me. And I'm chopping woods, I'm 10 meters into the woods and I say to people, okay, this is the way, follow me. And they are just there, like, how do we follow you? Like, what do you mean? And I'm like just follow me, just come here. And I'm chopping woods, I'm making the way, I'm saying, okay, this is the direction. And they are here like, I don't know. Get it? Okay. So the other way of explaining this would be, I'm walking and I tell to the people, hey, follow me, we're going this way. And those people are standing there waiting for me to tie a rope around them, put the rope on my back and drag them. Okay? So hopefully with this, you kind of see where I'm going. Leading and following is an effortless thing, is an active thing. I'm a leader. I say, we're going that way. You are a follower. I am a follower. He tells me we're going that way. I'm gonna actively go that way. So we want to eliminate pushing, pulling out of this dance. It's useless, it doesn't work, and it's just bad. Yeah. So this analogy, the way I see it, I see a lot of times, when I dance with followers and I start walking backwards. Let's go into concrete examples. And she keeps standing there, and I'm like, what? Like, why are you not following? And they're like, what do you mean following? You didn't lead me. And I'm like, what? What do you want me to do? I have the frame. I don't want to pull you. It's uncomfortable for me and for you. And then also I see leaders being like, we're going this way. And they pull you and they hold you and they're like, yeah, we're going that way. I don't care. So this is not leading and following. Huh? When we go into the river analogy, you're also going to see more examples. But what do we want to create in a dance? We want to create an effortless thing. That I as a leader, I'm like, okay, let's go. And you as a follower are like, yeah, let's go. And everything works. So now I want to hear from you. If it's one thing, it's one thing. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. And we're going to do it in a very special way. So a lot of people are going to see this recording. A lot of people, who knows? I'm going to post it on YouTube once, and who knows who's going to see it. So this is your opportunity, you guys who are here, to share with who knows who what is really important for you. So we're going to do it like this. First, followers, because I'm sure you have more things to say. Followers. I'm trying to see how to say it in a nice way, but pretty much what's your tick? Like what don't you like that leaders do on the dance floor? If there is like one or two things you could change or make them stop doing, what would that be? And I'm gonna read them so that people who are watching the recording can actually hear, so that leaders who are listening to this can hear. Like, maybe some of them are gonna be like, oh shit, I've been doing that. Nobody, like, oh, now I have to stop, because I know followers don't like that. So what are some of those things? I'm not expecting you to do that. Okay, here we go. As a follow, to be pushed around, and how much my looks, the way I dress, depend on how many dances I get, and all the sexual harassment. Yeah, I know. I hate it when leaders are pressing me close. So don't do that. Grabbing and pulling my right arm or holding my right hand really hard. So to translate this, pulling your right arm is this one. So leaders, with your left hand, if you're really pressing it. So don't do that. This usually comes from the lack of awareness in our body. I dislike when leaders force scary moves when I am uncomfortable. Example, guy tried to lift me. I didn't allow it. He tried again and told me, I want to lift you. I had to say no 3 times. Jesus Christ. Okay, that's a determined leader. But yeah, I feel you. I feel you. So here I will add leaders, awareness of the situation. So reading the other person you're dancing with, seeing what the other person is comfortable with. This is all a part of leading and following. Wow, okay. Oof. Forcing instead of having just active frame and clean leading, not adjusting their level to the level of the follower, showing off instead of having dance dialogue. Amazing. I don't like when leaders don't pay attention to me. Sometimes it feels like they are dancing just to do the moves and not to connect with me and the song in that exact moment. Yep, I know. I also sometimes have this problem. We tend to go into our heads, think this move, that move, but doesn't work. I don't like if the leader doesn't hear, feel the rhythm, leads off rhythm. That's like, yeah, that's the base thing we as leaders need to work on. Leans their forehead side to mine would be good to somehow check first, not to do it straight away or in the first minute. Yeah. So, okay, with this thing, I have to say, um, yeah, don't like the connection, face connection can happen, but like doing these things, I'm like, what? Why would what makes no? Why would you? How much? Yeah, I'm not gonna go, but just don't. Okay, keep a straight head or go away. Don't like really don't push this. This was at some more point, I think, popular or people were dancing with this head connection. Uh, like we don't do that anymore, so just don't do that. When you're close, and for example, I'm a shorter guy, a lot of girls are my height, so this contact happens. But what, okay, tip, what I do then? So let's say this is the head of the follower, okay? So was laughing. Sylvia. Okay, so this is the head of the follower, and I'm here. If I were straight in front of her, it would be awkward as hell. So I just move my body a bit like here. We're dancing more in a diagonal so that I can be comfortable if we're dancing like super close to each other. So do that. Okay. Problems with musicality. A problem with musicality. Yeah. So leaders, if you focus on musicality and variations, your dance is going to be so much more interesting. Oh my God, this call is gonna be way too long. Leading from the hands, arms instead of from the chest. And what was shared before, forcing a connection that is too close too soon. Very good. Also because I'm tiny, leaders sometimes do lifts, which is not really my thing. I like my connection to the floor. Okay. So, forcing a connection that is too close too soon. Leaders, take it easy. Like don't show off. Kizomba is a dance where we have time to get to know ourselves, so easy. And also, what I would say, I'm also not a tricks guy. I don't know them, I don't do them. But when you do them, kind of look for the feedback of the follower, you know? If she's like happy and like, okay, cool. But if you see that the laugh is just so the thing we're not so the scene is not uncomfortable, then kind of learn body language. I don't like it when the leader looks around and doesn't focus on dancing and connection. Also, we're dancing together, like close the loop. I like to say, as a leader, you want to create like a bubble, like a bubble around your follower, and then it's like, oh yeah, we are together inside, and it's so nice and cozy. Cool. Okay, I'm giving it 5 more seconds. And now it's leader's turn. I don't think we have that much leaders here, which is a shame. But if not, then I'm gonna do their part and to speak about it. Um, Also, it's a bit sad to me when new leaders who have a good frame and energy only stick to the basics instead of trying more difficult moves. Of course, they're afraid to make mistakes. Oh, okay, wow. This is a nice one. I know I said we're gonna speak about bad things, but this is a nice one. So I'm gonna jump in on this. And this is why I want this to be a dialogue. This is like a living thing. It's not just me reading these things. Even though I think maybe this will take longer, I think it will be more valuable to people. So, leaders. So, first, I would recommend every leader to try following, because I follow, and what I realized when I started following, when I made a mistake as a follow, I wasn't like, oh, you're such a bad leader, shame on you. And I have this bell inside my head, what are you doing? No, you're so bad. No, I was like, move on. Like, I don't give a shit that I did a mistake or that you did a mistake. Like just move, dance forward. It's like fine. Whereas before, when I didn't experience that as a follower, I was like, oh shit, what will she think now? Like I did this not so correct. And like, move on. If you're not aggressive and you're not uncomfortable, it's fine. So, leaders, let's go. It's your turn. We're gonna base our whole discussion on these things. How many leaders do we have? I think we have. Okay. As a woman leader, I am not happy when ladies accept the dance, but I see kind of prejudice. Rather decline, but don't make me feel unappreciated. Oh, okay. Wait, let me read it once again so I really understand. As a woman leader, I'm not happy when ladies accept the dance, but I see kind of prejudice. Okay, this can be many things. Rather decline, but don't make me feel unappreciated. Yeah, this is true. Like many times, me as a leader accept somebody because we are mostly the ones who are asking for a dance, and then from the other side, we get this feeling of okay, let's just do this, let this dance pass, and that is oof, ugh, that's such a bad feeling to have as a leader. It's really heartbreaking. Leaning into my frame, not holding their own stability. Oh my God, like this is my tick. This is my tick. When a follower is like, I, I'm not even holding her. You know what that mean? I'm not even. We barely have contact, and she's falling. I'm like, how the hell do you expect me to lead? It doesn't work. So, followers, your own balance is so important. It's crazy. As a woman leader, I hate how people look disappointed when I am not advanced enough in my leading. Yeah, yeah, this happens. This happens. We many leaders have this feeling. And now I'm gonna speak for the leaders because I think I fully know all the bad things happening in the scene, but I would say leaders are not are represented even less than followers. There are so many good guys in the beginning really trying hard, and they're just getting pounded. It's like you're bad, this doesn't work, so on, getting rejected. It's brutal. It's sometimes for us at the beginning it's like a battlefield, like it's brutal. I wish more followers would practice footwork. I agree. I definitely agree. As a woman leader, I don't like when women followers grab me inappropriately because since they're also women, it doesn't count. And I've heard it happen to some male leaders' friends as well. Yeah, harassment happens from both sides. More from leaders, but also from followers. Also, often I'm literally trying to move a fridge. Leaders are not actively following. Yeah, that's that's all. That's one of the biggest problem. And you will see once we go into the job of the follower. It's this activity. Like a lot of the dance depends on the follower. It's crazy. When the followers expects from us to do things so she can shine. When followers choose the leaders based on looks or how good they are. Yeah, I can attest to that. I'm not a leader who is really outwards. Like many times, I would say people which watch me and it's like nothing special. And there are many times that when you start a dance, you feel this like, okay, when is something gonna start happening? Like this kind of energy from a follower. And it's like, ah, shit. But it's okay. It's also a style thing. Sometimes we like this style, we don't like that style. It's also a thing. When the follower is doing her own things while I'm not even moving. When follower is like a cooked spaghetti or like immovable furniture. Yeah, yeah, that's also true. Um, this this is also something that I didn't put this here, but it's true. Like when starting a dance, we're already going now into how leading following works, at least from my perspective. I, as a leader, need to get to know you as a follower, how your specific body is moving. If from the start, like I just try and do the weight transfers to see if you follow me, if we're in sync, and so many other things. If from the start you're adding your own musicality, your own styling, your own hip movements, I'm like, wait, I need to figure out you first, like your movement. So my advice would be like really first song, first half a minute, really get this connection going. If you don't get this, nothing's gonna happen. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna guess that's it. Um, Maybe more leaders are gonna watch the recording. Mhm. But yeah, last thing, when followers, wow, look, you're a professional at these comments. Last thing, when followers do not take classes because they can learn it on a dance floor, mainly dancers coming from other scenes. Yeah, that's which I understand. I understand that sometimes the classes it would be more useful to you to go faster and so on, or you dance with leaders who are not at your level, so you're not really feeling like you're advancing. But I agree that there are many followers who think they heard enough of the technique and think that this enough is gonna be enough for them to go to parties and learn the rest. It doesn't work like that. Like there's a lot of techniques. You followers need to do a shit ton for dance to really work, for a leader to be able to lead you these things. So yeah, when followers do not take classes because they learn it on the dance floor. Uh, Led, I actually don't understand. This also annoys me as a follower taking classes. Do you mean with the thing that I said, the leaders not being level, or other followers not taking classes? Um, yeah, okay. Um, so cool. Thank you for this feedback. So I know we started to ruffle some feathers, which is always good. So let's go on. Mm, other followers just going to socials or classes. Yeah. It's a shame. Some followers who are in the scene for a long time, it's fine. Like they can kind of get away with it, with a couple of private classes here and there and so on. But yeah. So let's go on, if that's okay. If that's okay with you. So, two most common problems I see happening, and this is connected to my woods analogy. So leaders pushing and pulling. As you've seen in these examples, what, okay, can you hear this? Is this irritating? Can you hear this paper now? Yeah? So, leaders pushing and pulling. This is like the more, it's fine like that. Yeah? You want more? So, leaders pushing and pulling, like the physical things. What I see followers complain, what I see followers complaining most about is really this lack of understanding that this or lack of awareness of how much is too much, and how much they actually need to be led and so on. And it's great, it's funny because it's the same from the other side, but it's twisted. Leaders mostly complain about followers not being active enough. So also, uh, because you see, when a follower is not active enough, a leader has to be rough if he needs to lead her. Whereas if a leader is, what did I want to say? I lost my train of thought. So if a leader, never mind. I have an example here after, but then I will go into it. But you can see, and also from leaders, something more energetically, what's also what followers say is that they are not present. So we are in our heads doing some things, moving on, but they don't feel us dancing with them. So that's also a thing to keep in mind. Leading is not just technique. Today I'm going to talk a lot about technique and stuff like that, but it's really this energetical thing leading also very, very important. And also then from a leader's perspective, so followers not doing enough, not knowing their rules. And also I would say when a follower is unable to let go, to relax. When you're dancing with a follower who's always tense or always trying to figure out what you're gonna do or something like that, it's I wouldn't say it's frustrating because I have sympathy for it. You know, it's sometimes it's scary. Um, but when a follower like really relaxes and trusts you, which I know it's hard to do if you don't know if a leader is good, then it's such a nice dance. Yeah, I completely agree. Letting go comes with trust. And here I will say, leaders, you are the first ones to create trust in a dance. You're the ones who are leading, you're the ones who are responsible on the situation on the dance floor, you're the ones who are guiding the dance. So you are the ones who, from the first moment, you kind of need to give the energy to the follower of it's okay, I'm gonna take care of this dance, you're gonna be safe. You know, so we create trust. It's an energetical thing. And it can be expressed in many different ways. The basic one, which I admittedly also sometimes fuck up, is to pay attention on the dance floor. Like, are you gonna bump into each other? Followers feel that. So if you stop because you would bump into each other, it's gonna mean to her. Yeah. So keep that in mind. Um, so for the follower to really let go, to trust you, you need to be the one who's gonna create this safe container. Cool. At any point, and taking it slowly and testing each other. If the leader takes it slow, it's easier to relax. Precisely. So this is something that I wanted to add because here are people from various parts of the world, and I wanted to to put this in because it's a crucial part of the development process of ourselves and of the whole dance scene. And we all have a part in it. And it's also a part of learning how to be a better leader, be a better follower. So how does a dance scene get bad? The downwards spiral. Okay. Before that, I'm gonna um, answer this. When followers give an energy of acceptance, openness to the leader, it helps the leader to trust their follow. Yeah, and I'm gonna add to this. So dance is dance is polarity, masculine, feminine, plus, minus. Um, there has to be some kind of flow happening. If there it's plus plus, there's no flow. Like it's like two. I I heard. Okay, I'm not gonna be who knows who's gonna hear this, so I'm gonna be polite. So, but there has to be polarity, yeah, and it's it's never one person's responsibility. Exactly, that's what I wanted to say. So if we want to create connection, if we want to create this very nice feeling in a dance, we both kind of have to be willing to be vulnerable and step out. Yeah, yeah. And what does that mean? For example, if a follower is the first one to step out and be like, okay, you're kind of nervous or whatever is happening, oh, easy, we can relax. And also backstory, how I experienced this is I danced with Alabir. I was following. And I was like, okay, and guys, if you want to ask some leader, good dancer for to lead you, what I would say is be like, hey, I would really like to experience how you lead. I like to I learn following. If at any point at this festival you have some time to like for one song, two songs, I would really appreciate that, and just leave them alone. Yeah, don't be the person who's like running, lead, dance with me. Same goes for the followers. Um, when asking teachers, yeah, a little bit of um, how to be polite. But I danced with him, and it was like, oh, you know, I melted. It was so nice. There it was not like, ah, boom, 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 let's go dance, dance, dance. But it was like really he was trying to understand me, and I was bad. Like I wasn't a good follower back then. I'm now like I'm okay. But I really felt then how it is to feel safe in a dance. And it's fucked up because many leaders don't have that experience. They don't experience it on themselves how it feels to be led well. And so then we have no idea how it is. So really seek those experiences. This would be my advice to the leaders. Seek those experiences. Ask people to lead you so you can feel how a follower wants to feel, something like that. Um, so what I wanted to say is when a leader is like is strong, he's creates this safe space, then for the follower it's easier for her to take that step forward. But it goes also the other way. Many times I was like super nervous or something like that, and I danced with the follower who was so receptive, so relaxed, so chill, and I'm like, oh my God, like I can also relax. It was so beautiful. And then from that point, when I felt that she, and it's a very nice feeling for a masculine person to feel that when a follower is like, it's like she surrenders to you, but not like, and then I don't know, do with me whatever you want. No, she's not weak, but she trusts you. Then in that moment, a leader feels, if he's aware enough, hopefully he feels a sense of responsibility that, oh shit, like I actually have to take care of this person in this dance. It's me who is leading. So this kind of protective energy also gets created, which helps in creating polarity, which helps in making the follower relax and really enjoy this dance. So these are some of the things. Polarity work, I didn't learn it from dancing, but from other people. But it's useful because we all dance to feel connected. It doesn't have to. Disclaimer: it's not sex. Yeah, it's it's polarity. It doesn't have to cross the lines, physical lines, harassment, and so on. No, we can still be very much respectful of each other's boundaries whenever somebody's in a relationship or something like that. But for me, I need this feeling in a dance. If I'm dancing with a guy who's like like there's no polarity. It's like two guys like two bumping each other. It's like not fun. Yeah. So sorry, maybe I'm crossing the lines, but I think you get it. It's beautiful when you experience a great lead. For me, I had two so far, and it was safe, nice, and like really enjoyable. It's great to explore also the follower side, and this is from a leader. Yeah, beautiful. So let's go on. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. But embracing different sides of the polarity when you explore the other role is something else. You said cover a whole new side. You Sorry, okay, I don't know. But you discover a whole new side of yourself. Yeah. So, let's make this quick. Let's just say we have a scene where all the followers are bad. They're shit. They're not following actively, they're just standing in place and so on. So, if a new leader comes into that scene and he's like, nice, let's learn Urban Kiss. And then he dances with all of these followers, and he's like, what is, like, I have to push, I have to pull, I have to do this, I have to do that. If he doesn't have any other input, he's slowly gonna learn that that is the way he needs to lead. See the problem? Yeah. So if we have a scene full of bad followers, it's impossible to create a good leader. It's impossible. Because for a leader to become good, he needs to feel how it is to lead a follower that follows actively, that follows nicely. The same is for the other side. Let's say we have a scene where all leaders are shit. They don't know technique. They think they need to carry you around the dance floor, and they're the big boss, and you have no say in the dance. Follower goes into that scene, and it's like, okay, I guess I don't need to do anything. Or at some point, she gets physically hurt. You see, it's impossible for a follower in that environment to become good. It's impossible. The environment dictates how we're gonna be. So if we together want to create a nice scene, the only thing we can do is change ourselves, dance with people, and we give them the gift of having a good dance. And hopefully with that, things start moving, you know. So solution, take responsibility for yourself and advance. By changing yourself, you inspire others to follow your footsteps. And also be part of the dance scene. Don't give up or go away. I've met many people, some are my friends, some were my friends, who left. They're like, you know, in this dance scene, there's not good enough leaders. We're not gonna go to parties, we're just gonna go to festivals. And for us, it's good. We go to festivals, we have fun, it's okay. But what happens? Then the dance scene falls apart. You know, I know it's hard, it's frustrating to go into the dance scene and not be able to have a nice dance and to have leaders who don't want to listen. I know it's hard, I'm not neglecting that. Same from our side. You're like super excited, like, oh yeah, you know, I want to try these cool moves. And then you go to a party and there's fridges. Or there you said heavy furniture. Somebody said. It's hard, it's not enjoyable. The way outside I see, work on yourself, advance, you know. Yeah. Any questions? Just write them when you have them. Don't worry. There's whole 2 pages of what is the job of a leader and what is the job of the follower. So you're gonna hear that also. So how do we make a change? How do we start changing the minds? Our minds, other people's minds. So, and I've heard this many times. When a leader leads an amazing follower, his mind is blown. It's like everything works. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And they're like, you know, these things that we've been learning on class, I try them with them, and it's like, I try to link them in a cross. I just wrote it a bit my body, and they just do it. It's crazy. Like I barely have to lead anything. It's like they're reading my mind. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I know. It's such an amazing feeling when a leader maybe it's not just like one particular dance, but when a leader experiences more and more of followers being active, doing their part in a dance, you realize, holy shit, like you can do so much pressure is taken away from you as a leader. You don't have to worry so much, where is she? She's doing her part of the job. So much of our mind is freed, you know. We can focus on musicality, on connection, on so many different beautiful things, but only if the follower is doing her job. If not, it's gonna be harder. Yeah, we can stick to the hug, we can hug, but if we want to go into more advanced things, followers, a lot depends on you. So if you want to make a change, one of the ways, you're giving a gift. You never know. It's sometimes for you it might seem like a little tiny thing, but to a leader it means the whole world. You know, you're an amazing follower. You go to the social, to the festival, and you dance with somebody who's maybe bad. He's maybe a beginner. You don't have a good dance with them, but for them it's like, wow, I danced with this follower and it was so nice. And this is how we create good leaders. We give them this experience also. Of course, you're kind of expecting them to be a good guy and kind of get it, but sometimes you cannot control that. Um, Comment. As a follow, there was a period when I didn't go to festivals and was just going to local parties where leads didn't know any better than to push. And through that, I lost the sensitivity I was working so hard to develop. So my reading their mind vanished. Point being, investing into a scene that only takes but never gives back is like watering the ocean. To some point, I agree. It can feel like you're doing it in vain. Yeah, there you go. An answer from a guy. One of the most important things that kept me in the scene dance were great followers. And this is what I'm talking about. You never know. Like we can guess what people are thinking, but we never really know. And I've heard this many times to know it's true. Not for everybody, but for some people. You know, when there is an amazing follower on a party and there's a beginner and he has this experience of dancing with amazing follower, like it changes our world. But I feel you. Sometimes for me it's different. I'm a teacher. So I show up on a party, maybe there's like 5 people, I dance with them. Maybe I don't have a good dance. Many times it's like there's this feeling of, maybe those people will understand that they need to work on their technique, or something like that. But now looking 5 years now building the scene, 3 years, 4 years, I don't know, building the scene in Zagreb, I'm happy. Like so many people, from some I didn't even expect. They were like, "Oh wow, thank you. You made me realize this, that." You never know. You never know who you're gonna affect. You know. So not to be on this point for too long. Um, Also, from a follower's perspective, when a follower dances with an amazing leader, she experiences also many different wonderful things. It's like, wow, it was so clear. Everything worked. I didn't have to think. It's such a nice feeling for a follower to be able to relax, to not be pushed, pull around, and so on and so on and so on. So leaders, me, for example, being, or whoever is watching this, constantly being present on the scene, trying to dance well, showing how it is to create this nice feeling. This is what creates a nice dancing and what creates nice followers. This is how we fall in love in this dance. We have to put in, and then we will get out. I see many people on the scene only taking, only wanting. I want good dances. I want this guy to dance with me. I want that girl to dance with me. But they're not really thinking what they're giving to the other person. Are you giving to them a nice dance? That's what you should be asking yourself. You know, I'm going to dance with this person. How can I create this experience nicely? How can I create a nice experience? How can I create a nice dance? And then you will get, like, I made a post about this, but you will get so much. Oh my God, you will get so much if you come with this energy. People will give you more than you need in many different ways. So, what mindset do we need to have? On the other side, I think I ask myself that too much. What if they get bored dancing with me? So I rarely ask great leaders to dance. Hmm. What if they get bored dancing with me? Well, I will tell you, you cannot change what somebody is thinking. If you like dancing with that person, this is my way of thinking. If there is somebody I really like dancing with, Like the fear of not being able to give back if they're at much higher level. Okay. There's many ways you can give back. Um, so this is my mindset. As a person dancing, well, I'm actually surprised nobody left. Now I see it's still 20 people. I was expecting somebody to leave. Like the fear, yeah. So I will tell you my experience of dancing with followers. And I admit not every leader is like that. So I cannot say for everybody. But for me, when somebody is, let's say lower level, but your energy is nice, you're like, your energy is of giving and not taking. It's like, it's good, you know? If your technique is like really not, if your technique is like good enough, that I can lead you walking, which we will go into, if your technique is good enough, and you give good energy, you're like, when he does something, you're like, that's so cool, whatever, how you express it, we will want to dance with you. Don't worry, like you don't have to have perfect technique, there's no end to how good you can get. But for me, and what I like the approach, it's to become good enough so that enough things can be led and enough things we can enjoy in. And what I wanted to say is, yeah, as I said, you can give back in many different ways. And what approach I have is, for example, now I have experience with dancing with really high level people, which I would consider higher level than me. And it's like some of them enjoy, some of them don't. Some dance with me for 1 hour, some for 10 minutes, some for half. It's like, okay. But what I think, okay, if I like dancing with them and I want to dance with them more, what can I do? What is inside of my control that I can do so that they want to dance with me? The only thing is to become a better dancer through technique, through energy, through approach, through communication, various different things. For me to become um, a nice person, somebody who's not annoying, who's not always on their backs, or like, dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, who's chill, all of these qualities, golden rule, do to others what you would like them to do to you. So, but something that I've always come back to is, okay, the one thing that's totally inside of my control is what my level is. This is something I can always advance in. So that's my problem too. I don't ask leaders above my level, but a really great leader told me not to worry about that as much because they will just stop dancing if they don't like it. So as long as they're dancing, it's at least tolerable. Um, yeah, I mean sometimes we're if we're at the beginning, it's okay. Like you don't have to dance with amazing lead or like leaders you consider super high level than you. You don't have to. It's good to step out of your comfort zone. Um, and yeah, to some point we need to be aware that needs of beginners and needs of experts are different. you know the needs I had as a beginner of how much I expected from a follower were way lower than what I have now. So now, for example, if some fast urban keys is dancing, my need, which I think should be accepted, would be preferably to dance with a follower who knows more technique. Why? So I can have more fun, so I can have more creativity and so on. The same is from the follower. A super advanced follower, and it's like some song comes and she's like, oh, I so freaking love this song, and then she goes to dance with a beginner who only does balanza. When there's so many quicks in the song, she's like, she just wants to escape that dance. That's normal, that's to be accepted. Yeah, we need to accept that, and I think it's healthy because uh, if it's not like that, then why would we advance? Why the hell would people train? Then everybody would just stay a beginner forever because nobody is judging them and it's like all is good. No, I want judging to happen. It's healthy. Like if somebody tells you you're bad, shit, I need to get better. Cool. It's a good thing. Yeah. So don't get stressed about it. Learn technique, ask questions, get better, and your life will get better. It's important to have confidence in yourself, and if dance level in yourself, and if dance level that you are in Dan, what did you write? That you are in our normal mindset with no ego, but it comes with time. I need a lot of time for this small glimpse. Shit, I don't really understand what you wrote. If you can turn on the mic, you can now be an exception if you want. And turn on the microphone and maybe I'm just retarded and don't know how to read. Sorry.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
No, I just meant that it's important that no matter what level we are on, beginner, intermediate, advanced, it's important that we have the confidence in ourselves to ask more advanced dancers to dance with them. We
Hmm.
shouldn't be like shy, but for that we need time to build the confidence to have it. But confidence in a normal way, not in ego.
Yeah.
Ego is bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Maybe sorry if I wrote this, if I read this, and you were all like, bro, are you stupid? Like it's so written so nicely, but sorry. I agree. I agree. I mean, not to go into my experience too much, to take too much time. But yeah, many times, I ask some good follower for a dance, and it's like, phew, I'm shitting myself, and I dance, and it was a bad dance, and I was like, fuck, But then I was like, at least I did it. I did it. It was easier, and then I went on, and actually, with time, you get more confidence. I heard somewhere, and it's so true. Like you build confidence by building proof. You have to do things. You cannot expect confident to be confident and then, hey, I'm confident. Now you have to go through shit and then you will become confident. um, I like dancing with beginners if they're not forcing me, harsh leading, and I'm very much having fun even with basics. If it's clean and nice, leaders pay attention. Even more amazed if the leader uses slow motion or acceleration. It still makes me pay attention. I love it. That's my whole concept. You have five moves: estrela, virgula, man, woman, saída, retroceso. You throw in a couple of balanças, touch steps, slow, quick. You can go to a festival. If you lead if you work on leading those, I'm not going to say if you lead those things well, because that implies an ending point. It's a constant process. If you work on leading those things better and better, you're good. Yeah. For me to relax, I need to feel that it's okay to make a mistake. Oh my God, Marian is reading my mind. Very good point. Yeah. Yeah. It's and yeah, you can do this in many different ways, but okay, yeah, I know when you were referring to that. So leaders really create a space where if a follower makes a mistake, you have to realize how stressed you are about making mistakes. It's the same for them. Yeah, we're all human. So we each creating a space where it's like okay to make a mistake. That's key. Nice. Mistakes create connection. Yeah. And once, and these leaders, if you're listening to this, like if wow, I wish you come to this level. So automate your footwork. Like this, I'm gonna give you like concrete things, but now think about how you're gonna apply them. Automate your footwork and leading. Work on quick steps because that's a thing which is gonna get you out of troubles. Yeah, you can do a quick step and position yourself wherever you want. Then when a follower does a mistake, it's not gonna be a mistake, it's just gonna be another opportunity for you to lead something else. But for this you need to have a skill on of unfucking things up. Yeah, so when something gets I hope when I post this on YouTube, it's gonna be recommended to people because I'm cursing. It's like I wanna be. This is not for children. Okay, it's okay. So, working on skills to if a mistakes happen that it doesn't affect you, then you're like a rocket, phew, to a high level. So let's go on. What mindset I want? I mean, it's not like I want you to have. You do you, but I would advise you to be like this, uh, willing to be wrong. So many times I practiced. You all, most of you know Maria, but we practiced, and I was like, no, no, it's like this, it's like this, and she's like, are you stupid? It's not like this. And then I had to be willing to be wrong. I have to put my ego aside and be like, okay, yeah, 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 you're right, you're right. Okay, this is the correct technique. And we go on, and in the long term, it doesn't matter. In 1 week, you forget about it. But what do you get? You're a better dancer now. Same goes to the other side. Many times it was also the other way, but not important. So we have to be willing to be wrong. We have to be an eternal student. What does that mean? Always ask questions, always be curious. Even if you think you know something, question it. Ask the other teacher, ask this, test, really, and question everything. When a teacher tells you this is the way, question it. But don't dismiss it. There are people who question, and it's like they stop and they're like, you know what? I don't think you're right. I tell something to a student, and student's like, you know what? I think you're wrong. But then I'm like, okay, but did you test it? On what basis do you think that is wrong? What is your experience to think that that is wrong? Maybe they heard it on some workshop somewhere. Many times I heard things from good teachers, which I consider shit. It's a bad advice. It's not correct. So sometimes it's true, but question, but don't dismiss. Yeah. Seek for, does it make sense? Yeah. Seek for this thing. This is what I always did. If it makes sense in the most situations, then it's probably true. And go deep. Like, don't be satisfied with surface level knowledge. Seek to really understand concepts. Yeah, cool. Okay, guys, we're at point 6. Only 3 more to go. So we're good. We're actually good with time. Yeah. Okay. Look at all of these people hiding their cameras, not wanting to be seen. Maybe that's something you have to work on, allow people to see you. Kidding. Who knows what you're doing? Yeah, that's what I would say. There you go. Okay, cool. Let's make it more personal. So the people who watching recording, I'm thinking like, what's happening? Yeah, okay. So cool. Trust me, it works. It works. I've been to many webinars. When you have your camera turned on, you pay more attention because there's somebody watching you. Yeah, you cannot just zone out because I see you. I see you zoning out. So that's the thing. If you want to learn more, it doesn't matter if you're like this, like this. If you want to pay more attention, turn on the camera. But it's fine. I'm not gonna force you. I'm not judging. So let's go on. Riverbank analogy. River and the riverbank analogy. This is like, for me, the holy grail of understanding how leading following works. If you really visualize it and play around with it, it's like, mwah. So, how does it work? Follower equals flow equals river. So the follower is the river. The leader directs the flow. Okay, so the follower is flow. The leader directs the flow. The leader is the river bank. Okay, so What does this mean? I wrote down, this is an energetical and technical visual representation of what qualities leader and follower have to embody. Okay? Let me repeat. This riverbank analogy, which I'm now going to get into, is an energetical and a technical visual representation or analogy of what qualities a leader and follower have to embody for a dance to be, you know? So, follower is the river. It's continually flowing. It's moving. It's always in this flow, you know? It's it's not still. It's constantly moving, yeah? But the river's direction, how wide it is, how narrow it is, if it's narrow, it's gonna be more fast, you know, is directed by the river bank, which is the leader. Yeah. The river bank is always there. It's always there. If there were no river bank, there would be no river. You know, there's no structure. Yeah. And if there's no river, the river bank is useless. It serves no purpose. So it's both. Both the river bank and the river create the flow, create the river pretty much. So if we think about, okay, what are the qualities of the river, which I mentioned, you know, it's flow, it continues flowing, it has a direction and stuff like that. And what are the qualities of a river bank? It's always there. It's always in contact with river. It encompasses the river. It determines if it's going to be wide, short, if there's rocks in it to make it more blue, 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 if it's going to stop and there's a waterfall. So the river bank is the one that directs the river. And then we go into the ocean and then it's done, you know. But really try to imagine this. And maybe if you have some questions, some ideas, write them down. This to me really makes sense because from a leader's perspective, it gives me this feeling like, oh, okay, if I want to be a good leader, I always have to be there. There's not a moment that I can zone out. If I zone out, riverbank collapses, the river goes everywhere. There's no more control, there's no more flow. I bring in chaos, you know? And I am the one who really directs that flow. You know, if there was no me, there would be no flow. There would be just still water. There would be just nothing. Yeah. A follower needs somebody to direct it because then she can express herself in that kind of container. There needs to be rules, that there needs to be boundaries. And then we play inside of those boundaries, if that makes sense. Okay. But the follower's job, the river, in a sense, it's gravity doing her job, doing this job in the river, but you get the point, is to continue flowing, continue going, always, always, always. When she feels a turn, oh, let's go there, let's go there, let's go, oh, let's go narrow, let's go faster, let's go wider, and so on. It responds to the riverbank. The same I see with leading and following in urban keys. Urban keys comes from kizomba, which is continuous walking. There's flow. Left, right, boom, boom, cha-cha, boom, boom, boom. If you as a follower don't have this flow, I cannot lead you. I don't know where you are. You know, so I need that flow. I need to feel that weight transfer, that you're constant moving, so I can lead you through space. That is you doing your part of the job, which we will get into more now. From the other side, a follower cannot flow if the leader is not always there. A follower should always feel in which direction to flow. Do I stop? Do I slow down? Do I make a quick? It should always be known, not intellectually, but it should be felt. You should feel what you know you have to be doing. Now, yeah, of course, in the beginning, you may think through that process, but with time, you want to go to the feeling. That is like, I just feel that's the comments that followers give, you know. I just feel, I just know where you want me to go. I cannot explain it, but everything is so clear. That's the leader always being there, always catching the follower, always being in contact, always being aware, you know. If you go into polarity, masculine, feminine energies, the leader is the one who's aware of everything, you know. He's the one who's like just there, you know, meditating, being still, and just, oh yeah, I see everything happening. Follower is like, woo, yeah, let's flow, let's dance, you know. When you go into a club, you know, we guys are like this, drinking, the women are dancing. They're like, yeah, yeah. This is the masculine, feminine energies. Of course, if I'm like this, also dancing, I'm more in my feminine energy, yeah. But not to go in too much into this, even though this is like the basis of couple dance. But way too little people talk about it. Okay, so any questions until now? We're gonna make a couple of minutes break to get some water, and then we go into technique. Yeah, I hope you're not too tired. I hope you're okay. It's 8:21. Yeah. So, if you have any questions, write them down. Yeah. We're gonna get into them. We're gonna get into them once we come back. Okay. So a couple of minutes break. You know, let's say 4 minutes break, and we come back. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So I don't forget to press this recording button. Matea, I like this question. We're gonna get into it. Okay, let's wait a little bit for people to join back. I'm gonna take a look at the questions people wrote down before. Maybe we can also get into them now. No, I think we will go into it later, I guess. How I can move this? Here, collapse this. Pam pam pam. Okay, okay. I mean, there's a timer because I said like it's gonna be 1 hour and a half, but I think it shouldn't stop. It never stopped before, so I think it shouldn't stop now. Yeah. Okay, the Fantastic Four. No, Leda was the one from I'm not counting the people who I see. So I have some of your questions, what you wrote here before. Maybe you already made there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or so questions. I think it's best to go into them once we go through the whole technique thing, as then we will have more kind of more ground, I would say. Um, okay, let's move. If somebody is not yet here, they will join. Okay, so. Before we continue, or maybe let's skip that for the end. Um, the things. So let's go on. What is the follower's job in a dance? And I'm gonna stick mostly to urban kids, but you can pretty much apply this if you think about it to any couple dance. It's not in any particular order. This is what I'm about to read. And yeah, okay, first I need to read the question. Yeah, that's right. It's not in any particular order. If you really want to learn, maybe you want to write these things down, or later you watch the recording once again, and here you're just present with the information. Maybe that's even better. And then later you can always write it down. Wait, there was a question. Yeah, okay. As a follower, I sometimes want to express myself a little based on the music, but I'm not sure if this is the right time to do it. Or will I break the flow or his plans and confuse him? I'm talking about smiley face. I'm talking about 2 to 3 seconds, which is so fun. Yeah, okay. So, styling is in urban keys is good styling if it doesn't disrupt the leading. Yeah, so always keep that in mind. If your styling made him lead something different as a consequence of your styling, for me, it's not really styling. It's you putting your own groove into the dance, which can be fine, but you have to realize that at that point you're changing the dance, which is not bad, which is really not bad. I often have dances with followers who add a lot of things. They really sometimes like stop me, do their own thing or whatever, and it can be so freaking fun. It can be really, really fun. But for that, a leader needs to be able to accept that. Because in a leader's mind, it's like a mistake. He needs to adapt to it. So, but I'm not really going to go into that. It's hard for me also from a leader's perspective to really give you something concrete. But oftentimes when I loosen up my frame, when I, for example, lead with my body and we're like flowing and stuff like that, this is me giving you more space to add your own things. If we're in a frame, you have less space to add your own things. So it's a trial and error thing. An advice for you, Matea, is go on Instagram, go on YouTube, watch Urban Kids, Kizomba videos, whatever you're into, and search for stylings. Search for what did she do with her leg, what did she do with her body, and see in what moment she did that. Here we're gonna have another Zoom call where I'm gonna teach you how to learn from YouTube. It's such a good skill. You don't want to miss that. But more on that later. Their teachers were like, "No, no, you need to learn from me, not from YouTube." And I'm like, "Go, learn from YouTube. Less job for me." Then I can teach you like the most important things. So um, it's a play. You have to play around with it, fuck some things up, and then realize, oh shit, this is not good place to add styling, or maybe you need to do it quickly, then it will work out and stuff. But play around with it. Don't be too serious. Um, okay, there was a comment. I'm reading everything, so there was a comment, mistakes create connection, and then there was a reply, but it can create disconnection too, depending of the reaction of the other person, leader, follower, and how the person makes you feel, especially when you are a beginner, not important which role. Sure, if there's too much mistakes, if they're like basic mistakes and they stop the flow of a dance, then it literally creates disconnection. So that's also true. So, okay, moving on. Oh, what? We're never gonna be done. I'm doing this if I feel the music stopping or slowing down. Once the leader does not show acceptance, I never repeat it. Otherwise, as you said, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. What I had, no, no, it's okay, kidding. What I had in mind was perhaps just a syncopated step when I did feel that the leader had loosened up the frame and gave me freedom to do that. But I also got feedback that, oh, you should just continue going that way, which I had sent you. And my thinking was, but yes, can I go there in a syncopated way? My answer is no, you cannot go there in a syncopated way. If I, as a leader, was like, okay, we're walking, and then I loosen up my frame, I expect you to continue walking, which we will get into now. Syncopated steps, you have to realize what a syncopation does to a leader. Syncopated is one and two. So you're stepping twice when a leader is stepping once. You literally the whole concept in our heads, because now you're on a different foot. If you do that by yourself, we need to change everything, we need to stop or whatever. The simple, when a leader is leading you woman Saida first three steps, he can do that in a quick, that. And sometimes I lead that and follower does quick by herself. Then what you will see, it's so like when I tell followers this, then they're like, oh shit. So it's there's a woman Saida. I hope you see it well. So it's like one, two, three, but the follower does one and two. Okay. Then what I mostly do, I open up because she's on the wrong foot and I come back. I don't finish a Saida because she made a step that's different. But okay, not to go into that. So don't do syncopations if you're not being led into syncopations. It's really it messes up everything. Okay, so what is the job of the follower? Let's go. There's sorry, I know you're hearing my paper going, but okay. Oh well. Okay, here's. Okay, so again, these are not in any particular order. These things I may, like in 1 month, change the how I explain them or how I group them or whatever. I never, when I do I still don't have like the whole thing like mapped up exactly because I constantly hear new things, I change them and so on and so on. So this is something I put up like this precisely for this webinar, okay? So keep the flow. You as a follower have to keep the flow. What the hell does that mean? You are a beat keeper. You have to keep walking on beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to keep moving. You have to keep stepping. Remember, flow. Underneath yourself, leg first. I will repeat. Underneath yourself, leg first. What does that mean? It's gonna be a bit of a challenge to explain this, but bands don't know what that means, but okay. So you keep stepping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 underneath yourself. Okay, wait, I can maybe lower this down so you actually see. So let's say I'm walking. It's like, oh fuck, why is it blurred? Okay, shit. How do I change that? Does somebody know? Um. Oh, watch this. Watch this. Oh. Okay. Sorry for taking. We have a set in the. Yeah, probably. Sorry for taking this time, because if this is blur my background. What if I change? Okay, you're just gonna moving the chair away, maybe. Huh? Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. You can see enough, so it's fine. Okay, so continue moving underneath yourself, leg first. I'm gonna try to be short. So this is you walking on tempo. You have the flow. You have the flow. You have the flow. If you were not walking underneath yourself, it would be like this. Too much. It's too much. Urban keys is more here. We can make our steps bigger, but don't make them too big. Sometimes I will just lead you this. Boom, 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 boom. Look at my third step. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is Woman Saida, where I lead you underneath yourself and then in my line. I hope it's not mirrored or something like that. So, and what does that mean? What does that mean, leg first? That means when you feel an impulse, let's say to the back, you're not doing this. Okay, I exaggerate, but you get the point. You do this, leg first. Okay, but you don't do this too much. Okay, so leg first underneath yourself, and then you're walking like this. You have the flow. I can lead you very nicely, and so on. So ask questions if you have any, but these are all gonna tie together. So you want to keep the flow. What else? What does this tie into? You want to be predictable for the leader. This is a good thing. If you're predictable, if for every same signal you respond in the same way, mwah, yeah. And if your weight transfers, your walking is consistent. It's not like one step bigger, one step closer, one step faster, and so on. You're also predictable. I can feel when exactly to give you a signal. So be predictable, consistent. Always react the same to the same. Sorry, to the same signal. Yeah. So with those two, keeping the flow and being predictable. What does it mean to be predictable? Look. Hey, okay. Oh, I don't know, but it's okay. Watch this. Haha. I'm learning. So, if it's hard like this, but this is me walking as a follower. You can see my flow is there. My flow is there. Let's say I do balanza, okay, with my right. I'm a follower. I do this. A leader can feel this. He can feel my flow. He can start to feel more and more when to give me a signal. If I'm like this, is there flow? No, I'm not predictable. He doesn't know when to give me a signal. Again, keep moving. If I don't keep moving, if I expect him to push me around on every step, there's no flow. There's no him catching my flow and doing with it whatever. It's him moving me across the dance floor. So we as a follower really want to be continuously moving. Yeah, okay. Then you want to know the rules. Know all the direction changes, speeds, technique. Technique is leg lifts, pivots, crosses. The more you know, the more things you're gonna be led into. So you have to realize, you as a follower, cool, you can know like the figures, it's useful. But you as a follower more need to learn principles. On this signal, what do I do? Because if you think about it, Leader can only lead for I as you leader can lead you to the side. But now think about from a leader's perspective. Imagine me here, okay? I'm still here. So I'm still there. You're going there as a follower. A leader can be here, can be here, can be here, can be here, can be here. You're doing the same step. He's in different positions. So, learning to a figure, it's not really useful because leaders will lead you crazy shit. Yeah? So you need to know the rules. If he gives me a signal to the side, what do I do? I go in a touch step or I go into a weight transfer and so on. If the leading signal is like short and sharp, it's a touch step. If it's long and continuous, it's a weight transfer. No matter what direction, front, back, side, whatever. You know, crosses, not gonna go into crosses, it would be like 2 hour video. But whatever you need to think, okay, I want people to lead me tricks. Okay, let's say tricks, for example. What do I need to know? I need to know how to be on a leader, how to use my arm, how to put weight on his center of the body so that I'm light for him, so that he's not pulling me like a dead dog, you know? Okay, this is maybe a bad example, but if you've ever carried a dead dog, you know how much harder he is than when he is alive. Limp, yeah? So you need to know how to put the weight correctly. So the more things you work on yourself, you will dance with good leaders and they will feel. They will be like, ah, she knows cross steps. Cool, I can lead her cross steps. So working on your own technique is the thing that's gonna make other dancers do crazy things with you or whatever you want. The same goes if you're receptive, if you make leaders relax, if you have this kind of exhaling energy, more leaders are gonna maybe dance the serve with you because they will feel that energy, you know, and so on and so on. So you need to know the rules, know these things, how to change speeds, and so on and so on. There are many these techniques, but this is your job. You need to know them. You need to know them. You need to embody them so that a leader can lead you these things. Okay, any question about these three? So keep the flow. You're a beat keeper, keep moving. You want to be predictable, consistent with answering to the signals, and you need to know the rules. Yeah, you need to know the technique so that we can actually lead you those things. Any questions? And I'm gonna give you at the end of the what is the job of the follower my how did I write it down? My formula for the correct size of the steps. Yeah, I know. It's sometimes it's like, what size of the steps do I need to do? I'm gonna solve that problem. Question about the sur energy. How to make sure it actually stays at the dance and in Polina, focus. Okay, write it down again slowly and then we will go into it. Okay. Cool. So, um, let me maybe even expand a bit more on this. Now, Urban Keys is something way different than it was 3 years ago. There's many more tricks, there's many more variations of things and so on. So now it's more important than ever for you as a follower to really understand your rules, your role, so that everything kind of works, you know. How to make sure it actually stays about the dance and not into please help me, how do I escape? Uh, well, not really sure what you're talking about because of the what perspective you're taking. Who is saying, yeah, so the follower feels like she wants to escape the dance because it's just crossing boundaries. Yeah. Well, don't touch inappropriate places. There was this discussion we had about the sir, like, is it okay to go up the hand, up the neck to a leader? And pretty much we all said like, no, no, because this implies a bit more. So, um, I think, of course, things can get misinterpreted, but I don't know. You know with what energy you're going into the dance with, and be clear with that. You know, be clear with what kind of energy you go into the dance floor, and then kind of hope for the other person to understand it. If not, if they don't understand it, if they cross your boundaries, it is your responsibility to say no, to end the dance or whatever, you know. So, or say, hey, no, sorry, like don't do that, this is uncomfortable or whatever. Okay, so let's go on. We have keep the flow, be predictable, know the rules. Then we're going into the frame. Search the frame. Actively search the frame. This way, so with your left hand mostly, this way you always have a contact point through which I can lead you. Too many followers just stand there and I start giving my right hand and they're like, plop. Or when we're moving through space, they're not adapting their hand to my body. They're not actively searching for the connection. Yeah, and this makes it hard for us as leaders to lead. Because if you're not actively searching for this connection, then it is us who need to go even more around your body to give you a signal. Because imagine for us to give you a signal, if it's physical, we need to have some contact on some part of your body. If you're already giving us the contact, I can use that contact point to lead you something. So let's say, for example, we are in a side-to-side position. You're here, we're both watching there. Okay, let's say we're standing. You have you have your hand on my back. I don't need to put my hand around you underneath your armpit and do this for a leg lift. No, I can just go down and up. Because you have a contact on my back, that is your signal. You interpret it, and I don't need to search for more connection. Yeah, this makes things easier. Okay, so this is some of the examples. I'm not that good in giving some like really a concrete thing, but please, like with your left hand, actively search it and change it and be dynamic with that frame. Too many followers also, like they're just too rigid. They keep it like this, and then this disables me from either moving further or moving more close to the follower. So you have to keep this frame fluid, and I'm gonna connect it then when I go to the leader's perspective, how it works together. Then stay inside the frame, so I continue to have control. What does that mean? I have a frame here, we're just walking together. Let's be concrete. So this is my frame, you're here as a follower, I'm moving. At no point in all of this that I'm doing, you should bump into my hand or go left, or me have to push you, or me have to pull you, or me going front and this connection, you coming close to me. This is all you stepping outside of the frame. This is crucial. Bumping is your feedback if you're going outside of the frame. So if I'm here and I'm going backwards and you feel pressure back there, you didn't stay inside of the frame. You took too long to respond to go forward. If I'm moving forward and the distance between ourselves becomes smaller, you're not staying inside of the frame. Okay? These are the two ones when we go front and back. So, and when we're moving, when we're constantly moving, your size of the steps should be the same as mine. If it is, you're perfectly gonna stay inside of my frame. And this is a skill. Yeah. This is the active following. You staying inside of my frame, inside of those basic figures. What we want is inside of those all of those basic things to use at least force as possible. That way, when we go into more advanced things, there's more of a contrast. You know, you will feel more when I want you to do something different. Yeah. Um, okay, I will read that. Um, why are you staying inside of the frame? So I continue to have control. A lot of followers, you know, I have my frame here, and it's like they're going away, they're bumping, and you have to realize that for a leader, that's super hard follower to lead. It's it's unpredictable. Her size of the steps is not the same as yours. Like it's super hard. You need to always follow. I need to really be following with my right hand, constantly thinking. It's very hard to relax as a leader, you know. Okay, I will read. A super soft follower who does not need and like to be dragged and forced. How to physically indicate that harsh leading hurts me. Few times I could not stand it too long and just said, please, could you be softer? It just hurts. Often guys are offended even though it was said nicely. Okay, so honestly, I don't have a good answer for this. Um, I hear too many times followers stating this problem, um, and not knowing how to communicate that in the moment to the leader. You can do many different things. You can make whatever. You have to realize that he's leading you in that way because he's not aware. So whatever you're gonna say at that moment is gonna challenge his whole belief system or his whole ego or everything that he is. You know, he's not gonna feel enough. He's gonna be feel challenged or whatever. Mostly because like if he's a like a good leader, a good guy, you know, like he's a good guy and he just doesn't know technique. That is just how people showed him. Um, Still, he will not know what to do at that moment. He needs to be taught, you know, he needs to be showed, he needs to feel what it is to lead softly. So whatever you do, it's not really gonna fix the problem, really. He needs to learn. Yeah. So you can try, I would say don't um yeah, I still haven't found a way to say this in a way that 100 won't make the leader offended. I still think it's best if said directly. I tend to clench my left hand and am always grateful when the follower points out to me. I either say directly or if he's really hurt me, I just end the dance. It's not worth it to risk. Yeah, and here I would say, you know, it's if he's a good guy, he will accept that and try to fix it, you know. Um, you can try to be indirect, like shaking the hand or something like that, but we will not notice that yet. So don't even try, probably. So, yeah. Probably, as Marian said, you know, say it directly and be nice about it. You know, whatever that means to you. We are each different. We each communicate differently. So try to do it from a place of trying to help him or show him a better way, not from a place of Jesus, like what are you doing, man? Like you don't know, because there's a high chance that he just doesn't know. He's just not aware, and it's something that he needs to become aware of. We all did that. Followers also sometimes tend to clench or stuff like that, but then again, this is a short term. In the long term, these people need to learn and practice. But yeah, because you can, as I said before, maybe his whole experience was leading bad followers. You don't know, and then he's used to that. Yeah. Um, so I will add this here an example, maybe some concrete example. I will say maybe I'm completely wrong about this, but this is how I understood it. This is from very good teachers you all know. Uh, yeah, but during the so or maybe be proactive as a leader and just ask. Is I sometimes like to ask if my leading is clear, and then the follower can give me feedback. In practice, 100%. Always do that. Always ask for feedback. Is this okay? Is this clear for you? Can I lead this better? And so on. In the dance, dancing is dancing, so really like ask. You can do that. Maybe it works. It depends. Um, okay. So I heard this concept. I will share it with you. I don't know it. I don't think it's a secret. I will just say how I experienced it. I don't see this as me exposing some dance schools methodology or whatever. So I heard this from Dve and Gabby, and they said they use upper arm connection. And for a long time I was like, why? Like why would you use that? So what does it mean? Like a leader's upper arm connects to the follower's upper arm. Okay, this is a type of the frame we can use. We don't have to. There's many different frames. This is one of them. But what this frame allows us to do is next thing. So it ties to staying inside of the frame. If we say, okay, now when we dance, a rule is that your upper arm should always be connected to my upper arm. What does that create? That creates it creates an environment where it is impossible for a follower to go too far away from me, because she always seeks upper arm connection. Yeah. So if, for example, we use that frame and I dance, wherever I go, a follower is always close to me because she's seeking that connection. Whereas we can have a connection, so this would be this connection. I have a more loose connection where we don't have a contact here. Most of the things also work here, but here now I can distance a follower more away from myself because she's not seeking this part with her upper arm. Yeah. So there's no, in my opinion, there's no wrong or right. It just depends what kind of style you want to dance and what you want to use. I mostly dance with a loose connection, loose frame, and most of the things work. But sometimes dancing like this, with connection in the upper arm, really makes something simpler. It's harder because we need to pay more attention where we step because we're closer and so on and so on. But it creates this knowing, this me being sure that the follower will not go outside of my frame. Beginner question: how to learn to lead softly if you don't have partner or someone to to tr to to experience on? Are social dances all options? Okay, so you you are now maybe in a similar position where I was. So there were good teachers around me, but not the style that I really wanted to learn. Followers also, like some were okay, some not, but I didn't know. I didn't know if that follower was good, if that follower was bad, and so on. I practiced with Maria a lot. We really questioned things and practiced together and so on. But you have to connect all the dots together and figure out what makes sense. So for example, and what's the key here? You need to understand when it is your fault and when it is not. So for example, if you have a loose frame and the follower is not following you actively around, it's her problem. She needs to maybe fix something. Then again, it may be that you are way too loose. So it's leading and following is this wide thing. It's not one thing. So it's a process of constant questioning, of constant practicing. If I were now with you on a private, I could show you, but through talking we can only get thus far. Social dances all are options. Are social dances options? I'm not sure what you're asking, but yeah, you can use every follower to learn. Like, what does this follower do? What does that follower do? You kind of have to play around with it. maybe you will, once we get into the leader's job, you will figure out more, but it's really about connecting. For me, it's about connecting all these dots together and figuring out what makes the most sense. With what rules can I lead the most things? If I can lead the most things, then that can be considered a rule. As a new leader, how do I avoid leading too softly? I usually worry I'll be too rough. Well, yeah, that was my problem also. I was too soft, but it's a lot. It's internal. It can be also an internal thing. You need to be determined as a leader, but we're gonna go into that. Yeah, but I will write it down. Um, how to avoid too rough, too soft. Okay. Okay. Um, yeah. So for the followers, bumping can be your feedback. Now, of course, it's not black and white. Sometimes a leader will be too harsh and you will not be able to trust that feedback. But sometimes, if you bump into his frame, maybe that's your feedback that you did too big of a step and so on. So, but as an idea, have an idea of staying inside of his frame. Then your left hand slash frame is fluid. We can change frames. Okay, so I can, as I said, I can use this frame, that frame, hug, and so on. What I see happening is, and we're gonna go into the leader's part. Leader is saying what frame we're gonna use. I see followers not responding. They're waiting for me to, like, I don't know, do, like, put your hand there. No, you need to know where the hand needs to go, and where it needs to go is where you feel you give the most signal, where you feel the most signals. Um, I think, okay, Robbie liked it. So I think Robbie meant how to practice soft leading if you don't have a partner to practice privately with. Our part is your only option to improve the details because in a course, things usually go too fast to focus on these things. Okay, Robbie, you might be a perfect candidate to work one-on-one with me, actually. If you want, of course, you can message me about that later. And I'm gonna say how, if anybody's interested, you can do that. But in short, okay, so remind me of this. I'll give you one exercise which will be very helpful. So, how to, okay, okay, I got you, I got you. I just want to stick to the followers now so that we take care of them and then we go into leaders and then we mix. So left hand is fluid. You need to be able to make a change of the frame when leader communicates that. So really use this left hand as much as possible to receive signals, to be active, to seek contact, to figure out, oh, does he want me close? If he wants me close, I come close. When he pushes me away, I'm not gonna hold this connection. I'm gonna release it and so on. So this left hand needs to be fluid. It needs to be able to flow from frame to frame, but it also should always be there to receive signals. Yeah, always, always, always. Not always we can use intention, but you get the point. Then, size of the steps. If we are in connection, they are the same as the leaders. So same connection of the step. How do you notice that you're not making the same connection of the step? You're moving too much inside of his frame. Okay, you should aim to be in front of him if he wants that, if he's bringing you side to side, but really pay attention to stay inside of his frame. Now, here, leader needs to do his job to not be like this, but to have a fluid frame, to allow for the follower's body movement to take place. Everything I had to, should have said this before. Everything that I'm gonna tell you now is like this. Yeah. You as a follower might do everything correctly that I tell you, If you dance with a bad leader, it's not gonna work. Yeah. And you as a leader can do everything that I'm gonna tell you. If you dance with a bad follower, it's not gonna work. And of course, it's not black and white. Some things will work, some things will not. So we need to figure out, okay, we can do these things, we cannot do those things, and so on. It's not black or white. It's not bad follower, bad leader. No, it's just somebody who knows less. It's fine. We do with that what we can do with that. We enjoy how much we can enjoy. So, size of the steps, same as leader, but not always. Here I will add one thing. You have artists who, when they dance, their each step is the same size. So it's like boom, 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 boom. For example, it's Jesus and Ani. If you know them, their style is pretty, every step the same size, which is so beautiful to lead, and to follow. It's simple. It simplifies things like hell. When I know every step is like this, when she has heels, her size of the step is shorter. I can use intention like a beast, everything is easier. So you have this kind of stepping, this kinds of style of urban keys, but not every style is like that. You have more dynamic styles where if I lead to the side like this, if I lead like this, you're gonna do a small step. If I lead like this, you're gonna do a bigger step. Yeah. So you have different styles, different techniques people use to lead and follow. This is an example. So if we want to be more dynamic in a dance, it's an art form, it's a play, but it's communication. We need to know, how do I communicate to the follower that I want to do a small step? Like, what do I need to do with my body? And then you as a follower need to pay attention to everything that's happening to figure it out. It's really not like, okay, let me do this and she will understand what to do. No, we need to take everything into consideration. So my whole body intention is telling you what to do. Yeah, and it's really an art. Leading and following is really an art. I can use many different things, like who, like whatever, for you to understand what I want from you. Yeah. So, as I said, size of the steps, same as a leader. Your feedback is if you're bumping into his frame, of course, if a leader is a good leader. And then again, what we can do, we can disassociate our frame, and then I'm gonna get into the formula of the size of the steps, how to know. So then, next, keep the speed. Keep the speed a leader prescribed. Change of speed is what is being led, not the speed. Okay? Let me repeat. A leader leads you change of the speed. So from slow to tempo to quick step or contra tempo. Once we are in that speed, you continue walking in that speed. So if I'm just like, if I'm a leader and it's like, okay, we're walking on tempo, and now I do a spin, toom, toom, you go around me, I catch you, you're keeping tempo, toom, 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 toom. But let's say I slow down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. You keep the slow, yeah? So you continue the speed which I prescribed. If I lead quick steps, it's like tuk, 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 boom, until I release. Yeah, of course, in quick steps, contrary to what some people might say, I don't think that in quick steps our frame should be really that stiff. Like, it should be more firm, but not super controlling of the follower. How is change of speed interpreted? How I at least see it is many different things. So what I say is, you as a leader need to create contrast. Contrast needs to happen. So how can I create contrast? I just slow down or I speed up. Something gets different. Something. Nice head, Marian. Something gets different, you know? So I either slow down, speed up. You need to be receptive to these things and actively respond. Like, oh, he slow down, speed up. Woo, woo, woo. If we're connected here, and I do here, 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 slow, slow, pa, pa, pa. I expect you to react. Yeah. So it's really reading a lot body language. Of course, I can like squeeze a little bit before the quick step or something like that. But at some point, you really want to be able to read my intention. And I know when I say intention, you have no idea what I say. Intention as a word means shit, but intention is pretty much me doing whatever with my whole body for you to understand it. You know, this whole webinar is called intention in Urban Keys, but intention is really many things. You know, I give you an intention to go back. How can I give you the intention to step back? I can have one hand in contact and go tell you go back. I can have two hands, go back. I can be here, go back. I can be here, go back. You know, I can have a full frame, go back. You see? So we can use many different things to give an intention to go backwards. If I lead a leg lift, how do I give her an intention to do a leg lift? Most people say, okay, if I lead, it's me being in a frame, going up, that is leading a leg lift. If I'm here, not in contact with the follower, and I go down, up, that's intention to lead a leg lift. I would agree with that. It's mostly we can separate it like that, but sometimes it gets blurry. You know, I have one hand in my contact and I just go down and I go up with my body or stuff like that. It's me using whatever I can to make her understand that she needs to lift her leg. Okay, so the you followers, if you want to become like amazing, you really need to pay attention to our bodies, to what we're doing. We can give you signals in many different ways, and the more you're creative, receptive of how you interpret them, the better follower you're gonna be. Yeah. Okay. So keep the speed. Keep the speed he prescribed. Change of speed is what is being led. Continue walking. Yeah. Then transfer all signals into your legs. Leg first, then body. We already did that in Urban Keys. What does that mean? You're here, you have a signal going there, leg. Okay, I don't want you going here. Why? Very practical and logical reason. Right now, for example, you see many touch steps like pa 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 doing whatever. So if you were to move your upper body a lot on my every signal, it would be like this. It just doesn't work. You cannot be fast. You cannot be precise. You cannot be reactive. But if on a signal, short, sharp signal to the front, I do this, ha. I think you can see, yeah. I do this, thumb. Then to the side, I go here. Boom, 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 pa, 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 ta, 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 ta. This is all possible to be led. It's all possible. You just need to be reactive and move the signals into your legs as fast as possible. And you can practice this. You can practice this by just repeating these footwork patterns. Just repeat them. And then when you're dancing with followers, with leaders, it's gonna be easier for you to do them. But yeah, okay. And one more thing here. There's two ways you can fuck this up. So you can either transfer too much weight or transfer no weight. Both is not good. So you can be like this. Ha! For my short signal, you go all the way transfer the weight. Or you can be like this, bloop, which is also not good. You want this, ha. You see my upper body moved a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. Of course, in faster things, it's gonna be super subtle. But it should, you shouldn't stay completely still. Why? Because when I give you a signal, I want to have a feedback that you went there. Okay? And sometimes the feedback is just gonna be, it's not gonna be like you moving your upper body, because that can make you slower and non-reactive. Sometimes it can be like, you do realize I'm giving you gold here now, gold advice. Yeah, I appreciate that, please. So, what did I want to say? Yeah, sometimes the feedback we as leaders need to know where you went with your steps is just the act of yourself stopping. So you stopping on the floor is felt in your upper body. Yeah. And this is important. This will not be felt if you have what we call in our school a floating foot, which is this. When I lead you, for example, front, you just do this, ploop, and it's just floating there. Or this, ploop, 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 ploop. There's no weight transfer at all. Whereas if you do this, ha, and stop, use it as a peg in the ground, I can feel that in your body. I can feel that you stopped. And therefore I know that you moved your foot. So you're constantly giving me feedback where the hell you are in the space and what you're doing. Okay. Sorry, this is longer than I expected. But oh well. You shouldn't complain. So be reactive. Stop firmly. Yeah? Stop firmly. When we lead you into a touch step, boom, stop. Don't be like a twig in the wind, like moving. Woo, 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 woo. You're giving us then feedback we don't need and which we don't want. So when you stop, stop. Your body firm, core strength. Also, you need to be decisive. A lot of times I hear from the followers in the beginning, oh yeah, I don't know, I don't know, did I have to go this way, that way? Does he want me to stop, to continue going? Do something. Do something. If on every like, oh shit, I don't know what to do, you do something different, then you're not, oh my God, English. Predictable. Oh my God. Predictive. You're not predictable. So you want to be consistent. Usually you continue walking, okay? If he stops you, then you stop. You wait for him in urban keys to do whatever he does. Then when he gives you an intention to go to continue walking, you continue walking. And kind of trust the leader, I guess. Sometimes it's just you have to let go and trust yourself and also the leader that you're gonna make it, that it's gonna be okay. Cool. Any questions from the followers? Yeah, it's okay. So also thank you to all. I look forward to watching the rest. Cool. Yeah, enjoy. Thank you for joining and see you. Maybe we dance somewhere. You know? Cool. Any questions from the followers? If not, we go into the formula for the size of the steps. Until you write the questions, I'm gonna go into it so we save time. So, this has been bothering me for ages. What size of the step do I need to do? How to know? How to know what size of the step? Because everybody thought like, oh no, the minimum size of the step is like your foot size. But then I'm like, what if I have a bigger foot? Like then the measurement is off. You know, it's different. So and it's like this. So when we're in connection, the size of the steps can be different. It can be half a step, big step, whatever. How do we know? So the formula kind of goes like this. So what is constant in the music? When we have a formula, mathematical formula, we're searching for a constant. Exactly, beat. Beat is the constant. So, cool. We have beat. Doom, doom, doom. We have a rule that we continue walking on tempo. Tum, 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 tum. Okay, cool. So, we walk on tempo. Then, what is the formula? I need to continue walking on tempo. That is a rule. I need to follow that rule. I cannot walk like off tempo, a little bit on tempo. No, I need to follow that rule. Sorry if you don't see my head, but it's okay. Let me move this away. So, I walk on tempo if what determines the size of the steps is the speed at which I'm moving through space. If I'm moving slow, boom, 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 I'm gonna make small size of the step. If I'm moving fast, boom, 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 boom. Same to the front, boom, 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 boom. So the size of the steps is determined by my speed of walking through space. Simple as that. So followers, when you're in a frame, you hear tempo, and it's like boom, 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 boom. You do small step. Then he makes it bigger by just moving faster. And that's pretty much it. Okay? Yeah, I will. So, of course, this can be confused with leading into a quick step or leading into a flow, into a slow. But as I said, leading into a quick step and slow is about word. I'm also talking for too long. It's about contrast. Yeah. So if I were to go slowly through space on tempo, 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 then I would need to do something different with my body to indicate to the follower that I want to lead a slow. So what I would do is tempo, tempo, maybe increase a little bit the tension and be like slow, slow, slow. Now we're moving the same speed through space, but we're doing a slow. So then again, remember what I told you. It's not the speed that's being led, it's the change of the speed that's being led. Once we're in the speed that we are, we keep it. It's cool, okay? Same with quick steps, yeah? Pa, pa, pa. Of course, if why do we do quick steps smaller? Because it would be hard to make them bigger. Pa, pa, pa. You see how much I have to move through space? It's hard. So that's why, of course, that's why when we do quick steps, it's usually smaller. It's simpler, it's easier. Okay? So speed, acceleration, speed I see, slow, and you have slow for every 2 beats, every 4 beats, every 8 beats. You have then you have tempo every beat, and you have quick pa 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 pa. Acceleration is for me quick steps, I guess. Acceleration because I'm like woo, accelerating. I wouldn't say acceleration is going from slow to tempo. The wording doesn't make sense to me. So that's the formula. Oh my God. I don't know what you mean. So the beat can be 70 BPM beats per minute, 100 BPM. So that's the speed of the song, and that determines our normal tempo. Slower than that is slow. Quicker than that is quick. Simple as that. I don't like to complicate things. Okay. So if there's no questions, Jesus Christ, let's go to the leaders. This is a long ass webinar. Sorry, but Who knows? Maybe somebody watches this and everything gets clear in their head. See you all and thank you. Yeah, I know. So, and oof, it's hot. So, I'm gonna go into the job as a leader. What's the leader's job? Harder lectures be shorter. Yeah, shit, sorry. But then again, I could imagine this be posted on YouTube and somebody's gonna be like, oh, wow, cool. And then again, I'm sharing this free because it's just if more people hear this at the beginning, then we can focus on more important things. Like I have so much more to teach people. This is just scratching the surface. Like this is just theoretical understanding of the dance. You still need to apply it. You still need to ways to train. You still need to know exercises. There's still technique how to do a leg lift and so on and so on. Yeah. No problem, no problem. Go, go, go. But we're gonna continue, okay? So let's go to the what is the job of the leader. So if the I think I'm saying so way too much. Maybe that's like my thing now. Leader's job is to keep the flow. Also, so follower also has a. Let me put this other thing here so I can compare them. Whereas follower's job is to keep the flow, to keep moving, to keep stepping. Leader's job is also the same. He also needs to keep the flow. He also needs to keep stepping. Yeah? He also needs to do all of that so we are in sync. The difference is I can stop her and lead her with my frame, for example. So I continue the flow with my frame, yeah, while I, for example, stand still. But I constantly need to check her in that flow. She's moving. I'm joining that flow. It's like the riverbank. I'm constantly also going around her. Precise timing. Okay, I have to be precise, and my timing should be on point. This goes hand in hand with the follower's predictability. When a follower is predictable, I know exactly when to give a signal. So use predictability of the follower to learn how to give signals to that specific follower. Every follower is going to be different. You need to learn how to use her flow, how to build trust. The timing should be just right. And this again is a thing that needs to be practiced. Just about because this is a thing that's specific to every move that you're leading. This as a concept is crucial, but it needs to be applied to every little tiny thing so that everything is led precisely. You need to be present. You need to be always there, in contact with her, surrounding her, encompassing her. Be omnipresent, grounded, like viewing the whole picture, and everything that is happening around you. Yeah, so this is that masculine quality of presence, what will happen when you as a leader get into the flow is it's like this, boom, you're present with everything. It's you feel the signal, you feel when you need to give a signal, you're aware of the people on the dance floor, and this all comes hand in hand with automating your footwork and so, and this is you really getting that like dialed in and being precise, and it's crazy. Like when that happens to me, it's like wow, but it needs to be with an active follower. So yeah, keep the flow, your timing should be on point, and be present, like be there, no thinking but being. Next, positioning. So as I said, you can lead a follower the same thing, but you can be positioned around her in various different ways. So I can be in the back, in the front, to the side, in many different ways, in many different positions. So I need to become proficient in positioning around the follower. Again, this is a skill. You need to practice footwork for that and so on. But like the follower, she keeps walking and so on. For her to keep that flow, this is very important. For her to keep that flow, I need to position myself in a good way around her. Yeah. So positioning is crucial whenever like you're leading, like you need to really position yourself in specific ways for her to understand what you want from her. It's specific to every little tiny thing, and but really pay attention to this. Then we go into the frame. The leader is the one who is choosing the frame. Okay, so I'm as a leader, I'm like, okay, we go into a hug. The follower responds with a hug. I, as a leader, I'm like, okay, we're gonna be at a distance. The follower responds with a distance. Your frame shouldn't be this stiff thing. It should be flexible. Like a rope bridge. A rope bridge, it ties two things together. They're at the same distance, but it's flexible. It's not rigid. It's not like a rock. It's not like a rock bridge. Yeah, okay. So, um, are you guys here? You still here? Yeah. Okay, only two responses. I hope. Cool, three. Nice. Okay. Okay, let's see who's here. Who's here? Matea, Goraz, Marina, Polina, Matea. The others maybe don't know how to use the chat. Yeah, okay, okay. I have to check. So, only followers. Okay, Goraz, you're here. Okay, there is female followers, sorry. Leaders, sorry. Ask questions, like interrupt me when last 15 minutes I got. Okay, I'm gonna try to sum it down. So search and choose the frame. Search for the frame and you're the one choosing the frame. Show her what frame she needs to search for. Yeah, so be concrete about it. If you and this is a thing where I say it's like this. You can do everything well and the follower will not respond. I sometimes am like here, and then I let go, I relax, and in that relaxation I expect the follower to come to me, but she keeps the distance. So it's a tricky thing. Then keep her inside of your frame. Your hands should be loose, not hard, okay? There's not much you can do to keep her inside of the frame. That is her job. You're here to position a frame. She is there to stay inside of the frame. So if you find yourself constantly pushing, pulling, having to position yourself in a different way for her to stay inside of your frame, she's not doing her job. She's not doing her job of staying inside of the frame, of keeping the distance you prescribe, of keeping the size of the steps so she can stay inside the frame. Really pay attention to words. I'm using deliberate words most of the time, so they're not just said like that. Good follower will not bump into you in regular walking. Yeah, I could, but I'll probably charge for that. We can also do a private if somebody's interested in, like, we're going really deep. Yeah, this is like an overview of, like, because leading and fall, it's specific to things. There's a way to lead cross steps. There's a way to lead leg lift. There's a way to lead a saida. There's a way to lead everything. This is like okay, this is what leading and following kind of feels like. And that is what I said. You can leave this webinar with knowing nothing. It's useless because this is just theory. That's why I'm not so attached to not sharing this, because I know some people will watch this, go through it, and be like, yeah, this guy was just talking a lot, and that's all. Or even see 2-3 hours. I don't know how long we're here for. 4, we're gonna be here for 3 hours and be like, wow, I don't want to watch that. So I'm not scared to share this. People who are gonna see this, they are gonna get from it what they need to get. Everybody's gonna get something different, you know. So that's why I'm just giving it here. It's fine. I'm fine with that. Um, so good follower will not bump into you in regular walking. If you notice she is, that means she's not doing her job. And of course, it's not black or white, black or white. You can also be bad with timing. So if you're bad with timing as a leader, when to lead and so on, then it's not all on her. It's also on you. As I say, it's a communication, it's an interconnected thing. So it's not only on one thing. Oh, wait, Obi is also here, a leader. Cool. I think Obi, sorry, I don't know. Cool. Um, mm, 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 mm. Yeah. So you can set boundaries. As you said, the frame is here. Oh, so okay, wait, I'm gonna this is also what you explain in your online course. The leader decides the closeness, but would it be better to start somewhere in the middle and advance to closer frame? The leader knows that the follower 100% Matea. So there are followers who are not comfortable with closeness. Yeah. I mean I have to say Kizomba is this kind of a dance. So get used to it. Get used to closeness because from a leader's perspective, having somebody who's constantly running away from you, it's exhausting, you know. Yes, we can dance on a distance, but sometimes so many things are easier to do when we're just close to each other. So I think it is a process to you know become comfortable with that. It's leader's responsibility to create a safe space and so on, of course. Um, And yeah, many dances I had where I felt the follower didn't want to come close. I was like, okay, I'm gonna respect that. I'm gonna dance what I can dance. And then after one song, two songs, she relaxed and we got into a hug. Now I will say for beginners, when they dance with a follower like that, it can be harder because she's further away, you know, there's less connection and so on and so on. But the leader deciding the closeness, I don't think that's really correct, since that's where a lot of the issues for followers arise. Letting the follower come as close as they're comfortable, coming closer at their pace. Yeah, but this is what I've been saying now. Leader can sense that the follower is not comfortable with being close, and then he can choose to respect that. But it is then again him choosing the last. Okay, we're gonna dance at this this distance. Yeah, but it is him deciding if we're gonna be close, further away. Because I'm gonna tell you, it's a bad feeling where you dance with a follower and she's close to you and you cannot get her away from herself. It's like it's a bad feeling, which I'm sure you can tell me, yeah, you know, Joseph, but it's even worse than when a leader holds you and yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But I'm fine with closeness, but not if the leader glues me to himself in the first few seconds. They have to respect boundaries in order to lay. Okay, so tutorial, let's go. How to start a dance. It's like this. I agree with you guys. Don't get me wrong. So when I start a dance, it's like this. I start a dance and I expect, because this is Kizomba, for the follower to come close, you know, for us to go into a hug so I can feel her. It's not just, oh, I want to be close to you. No, it's I can feel more. I feel what body movement you have, what you can follow, how precise you are, and so on. I'm getting to know you. So I'm here and I see, okay, is the follower comfortable with dancing close? If she is, she's gonna come here. And then, yeah, you could say the follower is determining. Fine. She's not determining, she's telling me what she's comfortable with. I see that as a little bit of a different thing. So she's like, okay, coming close, cool. And then we dance. If the follower is like on the distance, and I try to close the gap, but she's like Nope, not gonna happen. Then I'm like, okay, cool, let's dance like this. I maybe, but you have to realize what's happening then. What happens with me? If a follower is like, okay, I don't want to be close to you, I want to dance at a distance. For me personally, it's harder to create a connection in a dance. It can be because you're at a distance. If I lead her, if I lead you slow things on a distance, it just looks weird. It feels weird. Whereas when I'm in a hug, it's like, ah, okay, I can close my eyes, I can feel you, and so on. But if I'm here, then I'm like, okay, guess we're gonna do steps. So I do steps, and cool, that might help follower relax if I'm like a more advanced leader and I can do that. And then when she feels comfortable, I come closer. It's fine. But it's still me when we pass this thing where we're okay with everything. It's still leader deciding where he's gonna, yeah. Opening up helps to create distance as a leader. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you can set boundaries, but it is her job to stay inside of the frame if she wants to understand the signals. Okay, so what do I mean by that? As we said in the follower, you stay inside of the frame, so you feel. If you step outside of the frame, I cannot lead you. So it is your job to stay inside of the frame, so you can interpret signals, so you can feel, everything is working, and so on. And as I say, you can only do so much. If you notice, follower is constantly making bigger steps, different size of the steps. She continuously walks outside of the frame. It's like, listen, I cannot control anything in this dance. It's too chaotic. It doesn't work. You're determining also the size of your steps by you stepping. What did I write it? By you stepping and by you leading. Yeah, it's like you're the one who's determining the size of the steps. Simple as that. Where I can add to this with size of the steps when we're doing touch steps and stuff like that. Make sure, yeah, that the size of the steps is at least your foot length, so you can go to the sides. So if it's like this, don't do a touch step here because that is too vague. I don't know if you wanted to stay here or wanted to go there. So be concrete, so we can lead these things. Oh my God, okay. Also, frame is fluid, it's not hard. Yeah, so frame, when you think your frame should always be a bit loose. You should always allow the follower to have their own body movement. Okay, and you're pretty much with your frame constantly following the follower around also. So it's not just you deciding where she's gonna be. No, you're also adapting to her a little bit. Cool. There should be no pushing or pulling happening. A bit harder frame sometimes, yes, but not often. Harder frame is used to lead some specific things which require harder frame. But for you to be like this, nah. Okay. And for the end, be decisive and be sure in yourself. So that is the internal thing. That is something, for example, I had to work on. I wasn't really a decisive person. So, like, okay, need to work on that. Be sure in myself. I want that. I want that move to happen. Not like, oh, I hope she's gonna go there. Then it's like she cannot trust you. She cannot trust you to be a good leader. Now here I need to add, there's a difference between being a decisive leader, clear, who is sure in himself, and a leader who is forcing. I don't consider myself, if I see that the follower is lacking technique, okay? If I see her lacking technique, and I see that I need to use way too much force, then it's comfortable for me. I don't see that as being less decisive, okay? She might see it as that and be like, hey, bro, you need to push me harder for me to understand. And I had those comments, like you're not clear enough and so on. But I'm like, yeah, but like you're not paying attention to my signals. You're expecting me to like lead pretty much everything. You're not taking responsibility for yourself. So there's some limits to this, but yeah, there's definitely followers who are like, no, I need to feel a man in him, I need to feel him like that he has control. I'm like, fine. I'm not gonna be that guy, I guess. So, then you need to take care of her or him. You need to create a safe space. So this is a base for everything beautiful to happen in a dance. Whatever that means to you, physical, emotional safety, it's crucial. Actually, like, why is this? Because there's a lamp here. I'm like, what does this part of my beard look bigger than this one? So yeah, create safe space. Don't harass, don't push boundaries, don't expect something more to happen. If you like a person you're dancing with, take it outside of the dance floor. Be respectful. You don't know who you're dancing with. Maybe she has a boyfriend or so on. She wants to enjoy a dance. I need to say this, So keep dancing a safe space, keep dancing, dancing. If you like somebody, take it away. Communicate and so on. Like, don't, there are bad things happening in the scene. And yeah, I mean, people come to the dance for various reasons, and I would say there are different kind of personalities. There are those who don't give a shit, and then they're like, "Ah, I don't care, I'm the boss, I'm just gonna do this." Then there's us, for example, who's me, who's a bit more shy and who's not really gonna do that, who's not gonna test boundaries and stuff like that. So, many different, koliko ljudi, koliko čudi in Croatian. But yeah, it should be explained. It should be continuously mentioned. Maybe unfortunately, but maybe not. People don't know what is the bon ton, or how do you say it in English, of the dance scene. Okay, and then another advice I would give to leaders is continuously seek improvement and greater quality of leading. So continuously look to improve, continuously look to see, okay, how can I lead this better? How can I be more clear? Ask followers for feedback and so on and so on. So don't be like, yeah, I know how to lead retrocesso. It's fine, I'm gonna go on. No, like, really go back. Go back. Like 2 years, 2.5 years after I started learning Kizomba, I realized what? Like, something is off with my retrocesso or cha-cha, I don't know how everybody calls it. And I had to go back and drill it. With Maria, we were doing it, and I was like, what? Something's like, what? Something's off. It's like we're disconnected. So really, go back, always go back. As Nemanja Sonero said, and I completely agree, leading basics is the first thing you learn, but the last thing you master. I completely agree with that, because the basics, I like to use the word base and not basics, because basics seems like, yeah, learn it, it's something simple. No. Basics are the base, like the big base. If you don't have the base, you don't have anything. Okay? And you have to realize, for everybody, the first class you learn Saida, you learn it with a certain amount of awareness. When you learn it 2 months after, you have more awareness of what? Of leading, of the body, of the space around you. Of course, your leading is going to be more clear. You're going to find out new things. It's the same 3 years after. Going back to the same things, questioning them, am I leading them right or following? You're going to find gold. Like, this is going to make your dancing so much better, it's crazy. And that's it. I think that's it. Yeah. So those is for leaders. Keep the flow. Precise timing should be on point. Be present. Position yourself around the follower. Search and choose the frame. You are choosing the frame. Keep her inside of the frame. Okay? Frame should be fluid, not hard. Be decisive. Be sure in yourself. Take care of her. Create a safe space. Continuously seek improvement and greater quality of leading. Okay? And here I will add one thing which I wanted to state before is followers, be careful. Be careful when you're dancing with more advanced leaders because you can very easily it goes same for the leaders, but I will start with you. You can very easily overestimate your level when dancing with a person who is a higher level than you. I as a leader, when I dance with the follower who is like beginner to improve or intermediate, I'm compensating a lot. Why? Because maybe I want to create a more comfortable dance. She's not keeping the same size of the steps. She's not staying inside of my frame. What do I do then? I position myself in a way so she doesn't feel that she's stepping outside of my frame. So instead of me letting her bump into my frame every 3 seconds, I'm gonna make a little bit of a bigger step so she doesn't bump into my frame. But she's not aware that I'm doing that. And she will think, oh my God, everything was so nice, everything worked. So be careful. A lot of leaders compensate to make dance work. And this is not a bad thing. We all compensate. I'm not saying dance should be this perfect thing. We all compensate. Yeah. This is how the dance can work because not all of us are on the same level. So it's not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing if it's done too much. Yeah. So for example, as a leader, I want to have a nice dance. So if I were to expect from a beginner follower to do everything precisely correctly, then I would be stupid, you know? So I'm gonna compensate a bit. I'm gonna create a dance which is nice. But if I do that too much, then she will not realize what mistake she is doing. The same goes for the leaders. And I'm going to explain it all over again from the leader's perspective, just so you don't think I'm saying only this for the followers. Yeah. Leaders can dance with a follower who is amazing. You know, a lot of people have this comparison. I don't really like it, but you kind of get the point, you know, driving a Ferrari or driving like a Fitch or whatever, you know, like you can do Ferrari is like, wow, this big thing, everything, you know. But you know, when you're dancing with an amazing follower, you see like, oh my, it's like she's reading your mind. Yeah. But you don't know. Maybe your probably 90% of your signals were not as clear as she wanted them to be. But she still understood what you wanted to do. So she will do it. She will do a leg lift even though maybe you squeeze her too hard. You know, so you will not know that, okay, I should be more soft, you know, or you're leading her into Saida, but you do like a super big rotation. She will go into Saida, but you did too big of a rotation, or you didn't do whatever, you know. So followers also compensate. It's how we make dance work. But if we do that too much, it's not good, you know. I can say I dance with followers. Some of them are like, wow, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so nice, you know, with you I can do everything, you know, with you everything works. When I dance with this leader, nothing works. And I'm like, yeah, cool, thank you. But, you know, maybe question some things. So, and it goes both sides. I mean, I don't want to be harsh with this, but it's the truth, you know, we have to be careful around those things. That's why always question, always ask, always improve yourself, and so on. You know, so, so yeah. How do you stop compensating as a follower, predicting what's coming to help make it easier, but then this becoming so integrated that you're not really controlling it anymore. Well, that's the thing. It's you can, as I said, you know what he wants. You know what he wants to lead you, but it's like it's not led the way you want it to be led. It doesn't feel so nice. It's not so flowy. You will still do it because you know what he wants to lead you, but it's like your body is like, if only you can be so much looser in this thing. Like, what are you gonna do? Stop in the middle of the dance floor? Like, you can, I don't know, like the best thing I think, you go to that leader and tell him, hey, when you were leaving me this thing, you can do it way softer. um, but yeah, it's not easy. I, as a leader, when I see I'm compensating too much, or I would need to compensate too much, I just don't lead those things. And so when I'm on a party, they see me dancing with, for example, a Maria, and it's like, wow, they're doing all of these things. But then I dance with another follower and I don't do those things. Why? Because she doesn't know the technique. I would need to compensate, and maybe, it would be tiring for me or so on. But then still, I do my best to enjoy, to have fun with those things that follower understands. You can push a little. Here's the thing. Followers say always, yeah, cool, but we want you to lead us into things that we don't know. I completely agree, because that's how you learn. That's why you followers advance faster, because leaders are always leading you in new things, whereas we are stuck with our own things that we know. So it's good, but you should have some base of technique. Let's say this is your base of technique, okay, that you know as a follower. I can go this far into experimentation zone. This far, it's too much. You see, there's too many holes, you know? So, yes, I will experiment with you. I will not only stick to the things I know except maybe if I'm tired. I will do a bit, so you can, and you figure out, I do it once, you're like, oh shit. I do it twice, you're like, oh, okay, I think I kind of know it. Of course, you as a follower don't say that verbally, but I can see it. Then third time you get it, and it's like, oh, nice, and you're happy because you learned something new. So yeah, we push those boundaries, but you know, so not backleading, but rather not enough people challenge you, and those that do are so hard to find that the compensating is autopilot, and is the very thing that's stopping you from progressing. Um, None of. I think also my brain is not braining anymore, so it's hard for me to understand this. Not Neptune. Yeah, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna go on because we're here for 3 hours, so let's wrap this up. To finish, I would say the whole idea, take responsibility for yourself, for your own level, um, and that's it. Practice, advance, get better. You will enjoy dancing more. More people will want to dance with you. There's no downside. Many times I had in my dance journey, and trust me, as a dance instructor, the pressure is 20 times bigger, because there was a point where I was teaching and I was watching my videos and I'm like, fuck, I'm bad. Why do these people even want to learn from me? And it's hard. There's like, shit, like I need to get better, you know? And I'm thankful now for that, because it pushed me to advance, it pushed me to seek help, to find things out, to structure them in a way that makes sense to me. So I've been there many times. I was like, why do I need this in my life? I put so much pressure on myself to advance, to get better, that it was exhausting. It was really exhausting. But you learn from that also, so. But I still like this approach. This is the only thing you can control, your own level. advance. And as I said in one post, it's not only that you're gonna get so much, but you're gonna give so much to the other people. Me being a good dancer, I'm helping other people or providing other people with good experience. They can come to a party. Like this, it's not an ego thing. It can be anybody. But let's say they go to a party and they like to dance with me. It's like, oh, cool, Josip's gonna be there. I can have fun. It's a nice feeling. And then, they dance with me because like I'm good. And then they have even more willingness to train and so on. So it's a good cycle. The more each of us advances, gets better, the more everything gets better. And that's why I'm also sharing these things. Again, I know it's theory, it needs to be applied, it's a lot. You probably won't remember a thing once you get out of this webinar, but maybe some seeds were planted. And that's all pretty much I wanted to do with this. I was just like, what? Why not share it? Why not do it? It's way more useful than me showing you a couple of tricks I did with my body. Yeah, so there you go. For the end, to finish up, then we will do any questions. If you're watching this recording or watching this for like months from now, it may be past or you can find it somewhere else. Maybe I posted, I don't know. But I'm gonna do another webinar. Why? Because I want people to advance fast. It's like my whole approach is let's get people as fast as possible to an improve or intermediate level so we can like have real fun in this dance. Let's shorten this period of learning this dance in the beginning, of how it works and so on, so that more people can have more fun sooner, faster, and so on. And everybody's happy and everybody wins. I, as a teacher, don't have to continuously say these basic things, and I can focus on more advanced techniques and so on. So we're gonna have another call if you want. So all of you who are here, who applied, I'm gonna send you automatically an invite. Yeah, so you're gonna get a Zoom link. But basically, I'm gonna go through how you can, and I know some of you won't be interested in this, but I don't care. Some will, and those of you who are, you will get a lot from this. How to learn moves from YouTube. So somebody said, how you can practice these things, how can you practice to be soft? And I said, sorry. And I said, it's a big thing. For every little thing, it's different. So one thing you can do, which I'm going to show in this webinar, is open up a YouTube video and I'm going to teach you how you can study, how you can go frame by frame, how you can, see you. How you can learn from this, and not only how you can study that specific thing in that move, that styling for followers, that leading from leaders, but also how to practice it. How to, once you watch it, how to get away from the screen if you don't have a leader or follower, how to do it by yourself, and then how to go to the party and actually practice that particular thing. It goes the same for the videos you get from instructors after the class. You want to study them, structure them, go to a dance party, try them, go back, and so on. There's also a limit to how many I suggest you to go to the party with, and so on. So I created a process, and I'm going to share that process with you because it can only do good. I'm not losing anything with that. There are many people who are interested in doing some moves, and at least in this way, they will become more aware of the technique behind that move that they see on YouTube or Instagram or wherever. So that's what that webinar is going to be about. Yeah. You're going to get links to that. If you're watching a recording, I don't know, figure it out. Message me or whatever. Yeah, so that's the first thing. The second thing, now I'm going to do a little bit of the selling. If you want to learn more from me, if this was like kind of useful, I have on my Instagram profile, I have a link where you can schedule 15 minutes talk free with me, where it's intended pretty much to figure out if I can help you with that problem. If, you know, we us scheduling a private class together is a good idea, because I don't know, maybe I cannot help you. Maybe you want to find out some things that, for example, if somebody told me, hey, teach me tricks, I'm like, I don't know tricks. Go to somebody else. Yeah. So it's free. You can pick like a time, then an email is being sent to you with a Zoom link, and we meet on Zoom and we talk. You can also use this. So you can use this as a questionnaire to see, okay, um, if we're a right fit for a private class, or also you can use this call to ask me some specific question. It's free. So this is something I wish I had. It's kind of like this format. If you have some question, like for example, how to lead cross steps. Like I cannot really explain it in 15 minutes, but I can give you an idea. So you can use these 15 minutes to for free hear something that I can maybe help you with. Yeah. So you can also use these 15 minutes for that. You can see everything there. Yeah. Um, things that I'm focusing more and more now, of course, with the advancement of the scene in Zagreb. And if you're in Zagreb, I'm also available for private classes. Also, if we see each other on Prep Festival, of course. But one thing that I'm really been developing for the last pretty much since I started dance. So from the moment where I started dance, I was like, okay, I could be teaching this thing. So from the first moment, I started writing things down. What this teacher told me, what that teacher told me, what exercise this teacher told me. I went through, I think, 15 online classes, online courses for Kizomba, and I wrote shit ton of things down. And my story was I live far away from Zagreb. I couldn't practice with people like all the time. Like for example, people if we're in Paris, it's like there's a party every day and there's so many people interested in training and there's classes every day probably. Here it wasn't that case. I also pretty much for various reasons I couldn't go to classes. So I was kind of left on my own, and I had to figure out, okay, what can I do by myself at home so that when I go to the class, when I go to the party, it's easier. Like my footwork is more developed. How can I practice leading at home? There's ways. If you can find a video on my Instagram how I use a broom. I did that for a couple of weeks. It helped. It might sound stupid, but it helped. It created awareness. Like there's all these things, all these exercises and tools I developed, which are mostly for leaders, but everything that's for footwork can also be applied to followers. So if you're a person who's interested in like, okay, maybe I don't have teachers around, but I want to advance, and you like the idea of, okay, show me what exercises I can do, that and exercises, like I have many of them, they're simple, it depends on the person what they want to do. It's like, okay, I can show you, just do this, message me in private, because prices can change, and so message me and we talk about it. um, you do this, you play yourself music, and that's it. You do 10-15 minutes, you're good, trust me. Just repeat this process and you're gonna advance. Of course, I would be an idiot to foolish to not accept that there are limits to this. At some point, you need the other person to practice these things with. Yeah, you need a leader to lead you. You need a follower to follow you, for you to really practice those things. But sometimes you're just at home and you don't have anything to do, and you're like, might as well learn this footwork because this is gonna help me in 1 month when I'm gonna be on a festival, and I want leaders to be able to lead me cross steps, or I want to be more reactive, or I want to be able to go into quick steps. And from leaders' perspective also, even more, what footwork do I need to do to position myself around the follower in a fluid way? There's things you can practice. Yeah. And the point is to automate as many things as possible. And what you can automate first and most important, footwork. Automate footwork. This is gonna help you so much. But okay, not to go into more of this, you can we can go into these kinds of things on private classes. I'm working on building a mentorship program where I'm really gonna go with one person for like a couple of months or something like that, where they really advance. But for now, I do it in private classes. Okay. Um, Also, why I did this 15 minutes, so pretty much you don't waste money. If I in those 15 minutes see that I cannot help you with this thing, I'm gonna be honest and I'm gonna maybe direct you to some other person. Yeah. Maybe I'm not a fit. Who knows? So don't feel pressured. I don't want, this 15 minutes is just to see, okay, it's an honest conversation. Can we do it? If not, not cool. Yeah. Also, I teach musicality, how to learn musicality, how to practice musicality, mostly for leaders, how to incorporate it into your solo practice, and so on and so on. So many different things. Whatever you're interested, send me a message, and who knows, maybe I'm the person who can help you. That's it, I think. If there are any last questions, we can get into those. I'm not gonna do a recap because it's just too much. Um, if not, we can close this conversation down. I hope it was useful. Ciao, Kat. I hope it was useful. I hope you got it something from that. I extended double. I did it double. I was thinking I was foolish to think I will fit this in an hour and a half. But yeah, okay. I'm happy. I'm happy. Yeah. You know, yeah, this it's I don't know. I think I would like to see more less people dancing and more people giving tips on social media because I see all these amazing dancers. Listen, I see all these amazing dancers, and you have to realize I consider myself an underdog. I don't consider myself an artist. Yeah. I don't even want to be an artist. I want to teach people and dance and make money from here, from this, because this is what I love to do. But I see all these amazing dancers, and like show me something. Cool, I can watch you dance and it's amazing, but I would like to learn also something. Some they have classes and it's amazing. But it's being a teacher and being an artist, it's two different things. And different topic. It's foundations which yeah. Yes, yes. And this is why also I tell my students, some of them listen to me, some of them don't. It's their choice. Um, on classes, we do moves, we do techniques, but that's why I'm also transferring more online. Some things I'm doing on Croatian, some things I'm doing on English, because I also want to reach more people. If I do it only in Croatian, I'm limited to Balkan region. But I see this being useful to more people, so I do it on English. But everybody can use it. I think most people understand English, so they can apply it. And yeah, I know it's a struggle. We also have only hour and 20 minutes per week. It's little. There needs to be more information and people taking like 15 minutes a day for 3 days, 2 days a week to practice some things. But yeah, most people either don't know what to practice, or we all have different things in our life which stops us from doing that. So it's fine. Yeah, this gold would have been sprinkled over 2 years of classes otherwise. Yeah, and I see it like this. So let's say, um, and I wish more people actually did this. So I'm sharing this with you. I don't, I don't want to hold this information for myself. As I said in the beginning, you need to practice it. And in my opinion, it's way better if more people get these base things down, and then we can work on a bit more advanced things and more advanced and more advanced. Because what I also see, and you have to understand, like those famous teachers, they're not gonna tell you these things because they don't have time. They're doing privates, they're doing bookings, they're tired, they do regular classes and so on. Some of them do, some of them build online courses and so on. But for most of them, you're not gonna hear this information, because they just don't. I don't know, they do different things, which is cool. We all have our part in this dance scene. My part, the way I see it, I'm the underdog. I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, you struggle with the beginning, cool. Do this exercise, do that exercise, go to the party, practice this and this, not too much, only two things, trust me. Try to do five things, doesn't work, you will do nothing in the end. So do this one thing, maybe two, trust me, do that. Focus on these moves first, focus on that variation second, so that this is what I love. This is what I spend the most time on, um, like figuring out this start. And I think this is my area, which very few people can actually beat me in this. I see very few people talking about these things, so I'm just here representing the minority. Okay, yeah. So, okay, enough about me. I think you're all pretty done. And yeah, let's go. I think. Thank you all for joining. I think that's it. I have nothing else to say. Mother Teresa of that. Nah, not really. I do like money, so I'm not just doing this all for free. So I'm not really Mother Teresa, but it's okay. So guys, that's it. Thank you all for being here. And see you next time, I guess. Yeah. Okay, gonna end this now. See you. Maybe, and who knows? Maybe only three of you are now alive here, so we're not gonna mute. Sometimes I do like an unmute, and we all say bye, bye, bye. But there's a high chance it will be silence. I mean, I see some of you here talking, but then again, yeah. See you next time, guys. Okay, ciao.
Ciao.